Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath. As we get about our Abba's business today, y'all. We ain't gonna belabor, we're gonna get right to it. But let us turn toward holy Jerusalem, from whence our help cometh from, wherever you at on this planet Earth.
With the Most High's permission, in the name of His only begotten Son. Psalms 26. Judge me, O Elohim,
Yes, sir.
for I have walked in mine integrity. I have trusted also in the Most High. Therefore, I shall not slide. Examine me, O Elohim,
Yes, sir.
and prove me. Try my reins and my heart, for thy loving kindness is before mine eyes. I have walked in thy truth.
Yeah.
I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with disassemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers.
Yes, sir.
I will not sit with the wicked. I will wash mine hands in innocency. So will I compass thine altar, O Elohim.
Yes, sir.
For I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell of all thy wondrous works. Elohim, I have loved thy habitation, the habitation of thy house, and the place where thine honor dwelleth. Gather not my soul with the sinners, nor my life with bloody men. For in those hands is mischief,
Yes, sir.
and in their right hand is full of bribes. But as for me, I will walk in mine integrity.
Yes, sir.
Redeem me and be merciful unto me. My foot standeth in an even place. In the congregation will I bless the Most High.
Hallelujah! Selah! Yes, sir. In the congregation, blessing the Most High. Shalom, my D. Okay, y'all, today's lesson, occasionally we like to be instant. Shalom, Akko. We like to be instant season and out of season. We want to be instant in that. That means like, for a class, we want to, a lot of times we answer questions, but we'll give them brief. If there's a class we could point you to concerning that question, we will. But we like to do question and answers right before the feast days. And we have our fall feast days coming up, and we're actually 30 days out with the Feast of Trumpets coming up on 22nd of September. Then we'll go into Atonement and then Tabernacles. But a lot of times we have question and answers, and what we try to do, at least give you 30 days of prep time of any question you have, because the worst thing can happen is you find out, say, oh, that's today? See, and the out of mind, what is it, out of sight is out of mind. So that's why for these folly days, they start for Christmas in July. They pound you out so that by the time it get here, it won't be a strange thing for you. But we could mention the holy days, but if we don't constantly keep it on the mind up until the time it's coming, it'll be lost. Y'all, because we get slothfulness when it comes to holding these feast days. And we get lackadaisical and to the point that where, oh, they'll mention it, but you have to be able to mention it.
Right.
Just in case something happened with you individually and you get or forced away, or something happening where you can't join the assembly and know it's coming up, you still have to be able to know where you're standing, where you eat. For instance, like a lot of times, we got a brother in Aug.23. Benyahu's job causes him to do a lot of traveling. Some days he may want to get right down to the Passover, but his job done moved him. But he's always calling and getting prepped before that time. So if he do it solo or wherever he's at, if he brings somebody in and explain it to him, it's 2 or more Christ is gathered with you. So that's what he'll do a lot of times, and we may find ourselves in those situations that we may not be around the assembly or something is taking us away from the assembly. But that don't stop you from knowing what the feast day is. You can't say, well, I'm supposed to be going on a cruise that weekend. What they got to do with the feast day? It still must be remembered and acknowledged, even if you are doing that. That don't get pushed aside, you know, because something else is going on. You still must acknowledge it in your heart to know that it's there, you know, because you do it with any other appointment that you keep. You know, you go anywhere, you be like, well, no, I can't go because I got a doctor's appointment that day. Well, in like manner, this is a higher situation. What happened to us?
I have that here.
You did what?
I have that.
Oh, now, okay.
I was gonna say something like this. I figured you was, with the delay, you would get to it sooner or later.
So y'all know how we get down our one and only high priest, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ. He's the high priest after the order of Melchizedek. He brings forth the law to every male, female, rich, poor, free, or bond. And what we want to really expound on, y'all, is this high priest and that priesthood order, Melchizedek. We have to truly understand that order existed in the heavens. You know, it's not a new order. It didn't just come on the scene. And not only that, but it's an everlasting order. Because look, David was king. And he wrote in Psalms 110, the Lord said to my Lord, sit thou on my right hand, thou art a king forever, a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. And it's backed up in the book of Hebrews from chapter 2 through 10, breaks down the Melchizedek order and that high priest order. In the 7th chapter, it tells you it's an endless priesthood. It's an everlasting priesthood. It was the priesthood before Adam was formed. Adam joined into that priesthood. So then we went through the wilderness. We switched to Aaron as a schoolmaster. Learn us the basics, so to speak, again. So we learn the basics again, and then we go back up under Melchizedek because that's a grown man priesthood. That's no child priesthood. Once you get into Melchizedek, you're fully understood who your high priest is, and there's no other route to the Father but through him. And you're going to have to understand that, because that's what it's going to be. Even if you die and resurrect and you make it, it's still going to be the same everlasting. That priesthood, y'all, the priesthood got us twisted up. Priesthood have a lot of people not understanding the valley of the dry bones because they're looking for another high priest of what they're seeing. But from Genesis to Revelation, it's been talking about the same high priest. Moses talked about it. Abraham met with it. The same exact individual who was given this power by his Father. He's the personal high priest of the Most High. Personally handpicked and delivered us from our transgressions if we believe him, if we look to him. We got to look to him. We got to hope that he's the high priest if we make the resurrection. So y'all, with that, we had a few questions and answers, but if we don't, we always got a class prep for you. Too bad you had one concerning Ezekiel 38, and I knew we was going to get into that, and that was going to touch a little bit more on that, but because it's coming up, we may just run 38 through 42 on that to get some understanding of who that prince is. Is that what he was asking?
Is this a dual prophecy?
Dual prophecy, okay, so they're looking for dual. Yeah, there's a lot of dual prophecies within the Bible.
That's more than correct.
Go ahead.
And verse 16 and 21 speaks of a war. Is this happening for these systems?
So we'll get into all of that, and we'll get some understanding on it real quickly. But before we do that, we want to send us some shout out and prayer requests. We need to send prayers out for our sister Thea, Sister McCall down in Dallas, Texas. She's down there, her husband, Brother Charles, and Sister Becky, and our brother Keith, he's over there in Jackson, Mississippi. She's just feeling a little bit under the weather, y'all, so we need some prayers She wants just some prayers for uplifting and strength. Also, our brother Theo, I needed to give Theo a call to see that they released him yesterday. He's still in? Okay, he's still in. Theo just had a few things they're working on. They're running a few tests on him, but I talked to him, and his voice is strong. He understands, and he just say, well, you know, I'm where I need to be till I get myself straight and be released so I don't have to return. Yeah, Chicken Theo. Yes, sir. And so we're praying for him, as well as also we have Sister Hadassah as well, the house of Jeremiah, OG Jeremiah. Sister Hadassah just feeling a little bit of pain. You know, she's dealing with a little bit of neuropathy, if I'm saying that correctly. But it's been causing a few problems, so they're addressing that as well as some other issues, y'all. The devil is busy out here, y'all, and he's coming for this dying flesh. And also, the same house of Jeremiah, his mom took a spill. She fell. He said they checking her to see if, you know, anything's broken or anything bruised real bad, but so far I haven't heard back from her. He said she was doing okay. They was just checking her out. As well as our prayers for our family in the homeland, our brother Aug.23, Emo Naomiah, Emo Yisraela, as well as Sheb and Nakia over there. Y'all, we still praying for y'all because the war is still heating up over there, and they talking about getting more busy over there. So the missiles ain't talking about stop flying for a while. Any prayer requests that we got? What you got over there, sis? Todd Shepard as well, you know. Todd is on lockdown. Y'all, we just asking prayer that he stays strong, and y'all, these are the things we talking about. Somebody keeping the faith, and you know, your end is, I may come out of there and an Austin Lane limousine is out there waiting on me, or a hearse, and you still keeping the faith. So we're praying that he keep it and be like the thief on the cross, you know, knowing that this is it, you know, on decisions made early in his life, y'all. But that's who we have to pray for, y'all. Those who turn back, even though it was a crime or things happen like that that separate you from family and friends. You know, they need strength to maintain where they at, because the script tells us, do not take your life upon an error. You know, and that's what we're talking about. You know, you just figure, well, I got 50 years. I ain't gonna do all these 50 years. I'm gonna check out early. You know, I'm gonna end this. Well, you can't end it because of that. You know, on why you in there, and you think it's gonna speed you on to deliverance. It's not. You just getting rushed to a point. And y'all, the main thing we have to worry about is we don't want to ever die in our sins. And what I mean by that is you have not acknowledged the iniquity part of it, and you're trying to find a way to say, well, it ain't as bad as it seems. You just don't understand, Lord. You don't understand, y'all. You know, ain't nobody walked in my shoes, and it just, you know, head shaking at the point. What you got over there, sis?
Also for myself personally and my family, and for all on the other.
Absolutely. And prayer for, you know, requests for this assembly, y'all, that we may be able to just keep it going. You know, the devil attacking everybody up in here. He's on the hunt. You know, and the whole thing is to stop the message of the gospel, the good news. Y'all, this good news stop. What we got left but the bad news we're seeing on Channel 4 and CNN. All that, ain't no good news on there, is it? No. They had one guy in there say the world gonna end in 25 years. Wonder where he getting that from. Well, 25 years will put us at 2050. 430 years of captivity in this land will put us at 2049. Has he got something there, or he just don't want to say it came out of the Bible?
Only the Father knows.
Because it may be the end of the world for him, for his generation. for his kingdom, if he's running this kingdom, yeah, it'll be the end of the world for you. Because the end of the world is the end of Esau, is the beginning of the world for Jacob, ain't it? So if you're speaking from that perspective, yes. But y'all know how we get down to by, did we have any, you said Ezekiel 38 chapter. Is it a dual prophecy? So y'all, we're taken by one. I have my brother King down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
That was the first part of that question. I got two more out of that.
Okay, what are the other two?
The other part of that question was, and in verse 16 through 21 speaks of a war. Does this happen to be system?
And that have to be what? Beast system war?
After the beast system.
After?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just get into Ezekiel 38th chapter, and we'll clear it all up based on the prophecies of the other prophets, because no prophet will override another prophet. One prophet may be given this piece of information, and then this prophet is given the rest of it. Like in Daniel chapter 12 chapter, he said, Daniel, seal up the matter. This all you get. The rest of this going to be turned over to somebody else. But go to sleep and know peacefully that you're going to be okay. But we're not going to give you the rest of it because it's not in your time slot for you to understand what's coming down the line. You gave it out in a whole because Daniel described that statue that Nebuchadnezzar put up and explained the kingdoms, who it would be, 4 kings and 10 horns under this king. But the next prophet will start to break down what those 10 are in fine detail. So y'all, that's what, when you're looking like a dual prophecy, like in Jeremiah and Matthew, where it say Rachel weeping for her children. That's a dual prophecy because Rachel died before Jeremiah the prophet, and she for sure died before the children were slaughtered in Jerusalem when they was looking for the Messiah. So that's a dual prophecy talking about an event, and Rachel died before we even went into Egypt. Rachel died on the way and was buried there. So what children is she weeping for? Or what is this prophecy coming back up with Jeremiah even mentioning the name Rachel and her children? And then Matthew bring it up again when Herod ordered the slaughtering, and it said Rachel again weeping for her children. So those are a lot of dual prophecies, one that we're speaking of. There's several more, but we'll get right into the Ezekiel 38. And like I say, King down in Fort Lauderdale, we're going to understand a little bit of difference in who your brother is, and laying down your life for your brother, or losing your life for your brother. That don't mean going nowhere with him, because he said he was going to rob a bank. I just wanted to be his support system. No, that don't mean laying down your life for that brother. I mean, both y'all going to be in the penitentiary or the graveyard. So we're going to get some good understanding on that as well. When we get into some 1 John and some 1 Corinthians 5. Any more out there too? But anybody got any questions in here? We can take a few in here too,
You've got a few more behind now.
Okay.
Maurice Richardson, he asked, what happens to those that have passed prior to the millennial reign? How will life and death operate during the millennial reign?
How will what?
How will life and death operate during the millennial reign?
Yeah, so we were just answering that, and look like we just gonna have to get in touch on it a bit today, Nat. So because tomorrow ain't promised.
And then Kevin Jenkins got one too.
Hold on, that was number 3, millennial reign, life and millennial reign. Okay, life and millennial.
Life and death in the millennial reign. How will life and death operate?
Okay, so we're gonna get that cleared up, the death part.
And Kevin Jenkins had one like that too.
What Kevin Jenkins got? Shalom, Kevin Jenkins.
Kevin Jenkins asked, let's see, question. God's warrior, we keep the old covenant, the law till the Most High brings in the new covenant, the new law. Question mark.
Well, the only new covenant is, y'all, it's like renewing a vow. It's the same covenant, because they tell you it's not a new covenant, for it's an old covenant. You know, but what he doing is he divorced us. So no man has bought us or redeemed us. And what I mean by that, no nation has come and say, we'll take y'all on. We heard y'all, God kicked y'all out. You know, but no one has done that. So that leaves it open for remarriage, because if a man separates from his wife, as long as she's not remarried to another man, it's open for her to come back. But if you do a marriage after somebody else done married her and you take her back, that's illegal. So the Most High, that new covenant can't be a marriage ceremony or renewal of vows if another nation have taken us on. And what that means, we will have the last names of other nations. Say if the Arab came and got us, you know, and bring us into slavery. Now all our name changed from Johnson and Jefferson to Akbar and Muhammad and Ali. Those will be our name forced on us and let us know that someone else have us in bondage. But the key is they have to have a marriage covenant with us. That where they say we are the same people as they are, like how the scriptures in Numbers tell us that the stranger among us is like to be looked at like a brother. You know, and we have to understand that. I'm gonna put that down too for that number 2, number 11. Okay. So, you know, we look at this thing spiritually more than we do fleshly. We have to, y'all, because that's what the kingdom is about. It's not about what birth mother you came out of. You know, it's about what spirit you're dwelling with, what spirit is on you. Because this flesh is dying. If you look at it like, man, that's blood, right or wrong, I'm rolling with them, there's going to be some problems with that. Right or wrong, I'm rolling with them. That's not a form of loyalty, that's a form of stupidity. Because you're saying, I'm willing to lose my life over somebody else doing wrong. And he may be used to being in and out of jail, but you ain't. So y'all, with that, we got any more to buy?
Yes, sir. I got one from Dream My Daughter. Ask.
So Kevin Jenkins again, well, I'm numbering these 4, so want to make sure we don't run out of time. Kevin Jenkins was more, I want to write it down too.
We keep the old covenant.
Old covenant, okay. Old covenant, okay. Yeah. Okay, so we'll hear a little bit of Jeremiah 31:31 and a little bit of Hebrews 8:8. And we'll get that cleared up on that covenant, because a lot of people think, you know, that there is a change or there is a difference. The only change is your personal behavior. Because that's what got us in the shape that we had. And we're going to get to a little Ezekiel today that's going to tell us, when he married us, we were in perfect state, you know, and we just went and played around. Just got beside ourselves, you know. I was asking Tuba today, I'm like, bruh, when you think about that kingdom that all righteous is there, what do you think about yourself? Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes you be like, man, can I live in a kingdom like that? I'm talking about me, myself. Will I run out of steam of watching righteousness? Will I want to see a drive-by every now and then? And when we talk about fun, what is real fun in the kingdom? Is it like when we go to the club and have that drink and Google eye at all of what walks by?
You call that fun?
Ain't none of that fun. Ain't gonna be no fun like that.
You call that fun?
But see, that's what we start to think about, because you start to see those things slowly leave your lifestyle. That you say, man, I don't do no clubbing no more. But when you start to think about this, well, everlasting, there ain't gonna be no type of clubbing. You know, and we have to be careful that we don't go back to Egypt with this mindset. Because we ain't seen what righteousness truly is yet.
It will be joyous.
And I'm talking about when your family is around. I'm talking about family reunions that don't end, that type of joy. You actually ain't taking a drink during this family reunion, so we ain't got to worry about them cussing nobody out.
Or telling no secrets.
No secrets either, yes sir, yes sir. And if you look at the flip side of the coin of that, would you want to do that for eternity? If it made you feel that good, why not? Why does the mind want to go back to abnormality?
Sin is wickedly sweet.
It's
It's
and
wickedly
the reason
sweet.
being is, like you say, we don't have a lot to compare it to other than the patriarchs we've been writing about and the promise that it exists. And we know it have to exist, or it wouldn't be the roadblocks up there that's trying to prevent us from seeing it. If it didn't exist, y'all, we wouldn't have these roadblocks like we got. Because once you locked in, you locked in. You have one more too bad, we're gonna get rolling on.
Yeah, Dreamer daughter asked, let's see, peaceful Shabbat to all. I had a question about understanding what Mark 12, 9 through 11 means. Was to the end the parable of Mark 12, 1 through 11. I guess they asked
Mark 12,
1 through 11.
1 through 11. Okay, we'll hit that. Okay, we'll get on there and see what that's referring to. Yeah, so better understand that. So y'all, we'll get right to it. Let's get right into Ezekiel 38th chapter. And we'll start at verse 1. And y'all, we've been, the last two classes have technically been on the first and second resurrection. You know, it had to be some good understanding on what that truly means, the first resurrection. You locked in on the first, ain't no need. The second the second resurrection, it has no power, it's nothing. There will be no rejudging of you. It's like everything that dealt with you that's been pardoned, it's been wiped away, another judgment coming has no effect on it. It's like, you know, I don't want to compare it to the bad side over here, like what they call double jeopardy. There's no double jeopardy if you make the first resurrection. Because that means you've understood who your intercessor was, you've understood who the high priest was, and you died believing that. And I'm talking about, this goes back to Enoch. This goes back before the flood, where Enoch in the 46 through 48th chapter spoke of the Messiah and his priesthood. Also in 2nd Enoch, the 30th chapter, he talked about the high priest Melchizedek, that there's one coming that's going to supersede all of them. So he had that faith before the flood. Yes, he will be in the first resurrection. Abraham will be in the first resurrection. The second resurrection has no power if you are resurrected in that one. That one runs for 1,000 years. Then after that, it's the second resurrection and the great judgment. That's where everything gonna be judged that didn't make the first one. Everything gonna be judged. And then we will see New Jerusalem come down. During that reign, that 1,000-year reign, that was gonna be to get the nations in order, get all that back in sync. So it goes back to what King Solomon was doing. If we look at just 1 Kings 1, where Solomon was building the temple and how all nations was coming up to him. There was no punishing events or anything like that, cutting off genitalia, anything. It was the nations coming up, paying the taxes and paying tributes and understanding what it was, bringing everything. Jerusalem is the focal point. They was coming from all over the world to see these things, but because he slipped in his wisdom dealing with so many women, you know, he got outwise. That ain't no word, is it? Okay.
That was 2 words.
2 words, yes sir, yes sir. But that's what happened to him. So Messiah was tempted in like manner. Not only that, the Pharisees even tried to tempt him by inviting him to their house with wayward women there. They're like, let's see if we can get a little King Solomon out of it. Yeah, let's see what he do when get delicious in here.
No, not delicious.
Yes sir. Because the first thing they asked, if he knew what manner of woman this is, he wouldn't even let her touch him. Well, the problem started before that, Shalom Agdi. The problem started before that. Y'all know what manner of woman she is and why is she in y'all house before he gets here. Y'all know what manner of woman she is. What's she doing around y'all first before we deal with this? Yes, ma'am.
When
Say again, Emo?
That's where the dirty spirits come in?
Yeah. You have to, y'all. This is why I say try the spirits to see if they be of the Most High. Because Satan goes around masquerading as an angel of light. It's a lot of people masquerading, and it sounds good, and it looks good, but there's things that won't change in the Bible. He said, I'm the same yesterday as today. If they bring you a different yesterday and bring you a different today, then you can't chase it. I don't care who it is or what it look like. And I'm going to say this, we'll move on. When you finally understand what respected persons mean, a lot of times, you know, you see somebody that the public is holding up as some big man like Farrakhan or these guys, and you be like, well, and people are like, well, you can't say that to the minister. Watch your mouth around this. The script say, try every man and count him a liar. Every man. So it said because everybody, both rich and poor, must play by the law. It don't make an exception for an honorable man that you're calling honorable. It don't make exception. The law determines if he's honorable. And some of the things he's saying now, we know it can't mean honorable for that. So why would we give him that flattering title and he follows another set of rules or laws? He don't follow the rules of the Bible. He just says, do you know it? Well, he don't know it. He only uses it to gain the masses and then start talking another doctrine. But yet he has security, bodyguards around him, so we think he's somebody special. Moses went to Pharaoh. He didn't go with a gang, didn't go with no fruit of Saudi Arabia to challenge him, just him and his brother. That was it. That's all it took. But when you see these big tough men and they surrounded by security like the Pope and hiding in bulletproof vehicles, no, y'all, they scared of death. We have to understand them things.
Can I answer that one more time?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the question is, do we really know what it's like to live in the kingdom of the Most High?
Righteous.
In righteousness.
I'm talking about where you love your brother as yourself.
That
The example is already been there. It's just the fact that if we could stay on it through eternity, can you do good the rest of eternity? Can you not think a bad thought? Can you really love your brother as yourself, truly? Can you possibly think about a kingdom where you don't have locks on your doors?
come on.
Man, I'm just sitting here thinking about it, man. You know what? We addicted to drama.
That's what it is. We're addicted to drama, as he said. And you almost want a little bit of drama in there. But that's why there's a difference between the first and the second resurrection. And when Lucifer's let out, the drama will be there. That's what's going to come back. Just a little bit of drama to see if you done got it all out of your system. Because that's how this Ezekiel 38 going to start out, with drama coming back. What you got there too, Val? You was trying to say something?
Yeah, Kevin Jenkins had worded, he was saying that, the reason I asked that question because his doctrine saying since Christ died for our sins, the whole covenant is done away with.
Yeah, well, that's modern Christianity saying the old covenant. All that's saying basically is the laws are done away with. That's what the covenant was. It was laws. It's just like a marriage ceremony. When a man says his vows to his woman, they say why they love you and what they will do to keep that love going. That's what the covenant is, a set of rules and regulations between us. So the new covenant is the same old one. It's just got all of the dirt out of your system. You done got it all out of you. We do it now, but we'll spend 20 years shacking. And then finally, we'll let loose and we're going to get married. And what do everybody say when they finally find out that they married after 10 children? What they say? About time, you know, because they know you've been just holding out. It's about time. If y'all doing the thing, why don't y'all just do the thing? So y'all, let's get Ezekiel 38:1.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, verse 1.
What it say?
set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech, and Tubal.
So right here, what'll happen a lot of times is people think that it's talking about people that got off the ark, and they think this is Japhet, and they're trying to compare it. And a lot of times people move in and out of landmass. But we can see this starting off as a land prophecy. It's not naming the individuals who's in that land. It's just telling you that landmass name is not changing. There's going to be a different ruler ruling it. Because these people were not there that we know now that's in those land masses at the beginning. They got off the ark. They were not the same people. But the land is being prophesied about. It's like this. We're supposed to return to Jerusalem right now. So every prophecy we read of Jerusalem, who in Jerusalem right now claiming they the Jews? Well, why they ain't the Jews then? Why do we say, no, that don't mean them? See, we go into definition to explain that because we know we are. And we have to explain to the people why they're not, even though they're in the land and it seems like prophecy is going forth. Well, they there, and all the nations are recognizing them. So what makes them not the Jews? What you got, Ezekiel?
According to the scriptures, it say the caterpillar and the worm walk under the fox walk under his destiny. So we know the worm, the caterpillar, and the fox is up there, right?
Absolutely, but we have to understand that if you just don't chase color or positions of people that claim I'm the person that's supposed to be there, they must still fulfill prophecy, which cannot fail. It cannot fail. It cannot. You're not fitting what it says for you to be there right now. For one, there should be no trouble there right now. And you shouldn't be at war with no nation. Your sword should be turned into a pruning hook. You know, but yet you wiping Gaza out. And not only that, but the covenant that was made for you to get over there has nothing to do with that what's written in this Bible.
So they wouldn't need the Iron Dome?
No.
So then yesterday, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Imam.
Yesterday, I had the same question posed, and I was talking to someone, and I was letting them know that the people that are over there in the land right now are not the true people of the Bible.
Yeah.
And the thing was, and I'm talking to Christians. And it came up that those are not the people that are.
Right. And that's the question that nobody wants to answer.
They don't answer.
Even though you hear Candace Owens saying you're Revelation 3 and 9, you're the synagogue of Satan. And that's something, and 2 and 9, we have to be extra careful with that. We got to put that in its perspective and don't jump the gun, because verse 1 of each one of them chapters, the Lord say, it's my church. So if you read verse 1 and it's Christ's church, and by the time you get to verse 9, you're saying it's Esau, the devil, then is he part of Christ's church in verse 1? No, they took over after we got run out. But the Israelites who were claiming they were righteous men were of the synagogue of Satan as well. They were doing devilish work, because that's why the Messiah said, unless your righteousness exceeds who?
The Pharisees.
You have no part in the kingdom. So they were running the temples, and they were Israelites. After all of us got run out, they didn't get to stay behind. They got run out too. Then they went in and took over the temples and became the synagogue of Satan at that point, because they started running it full-fledged from where we left off at. They just picked up where we got threw out at and kept running the same program and still running it to this day. That same program, but both groups were synagogues of Satan. The Pharisees, who are Israelites, hated the Messiah. Ain't Paul an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin? Wasn't he a Pharisee? So he was running a synagogue of Satan program first. They were money changing in there. When the Messiah got back, he flipped over them tables. Y'all think there was some Romans in there?
No, sir.
Or who over there now? Them was Israelites.
Let's get at it. All right, verse 3.
Yeah.
And say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal.
So it's still talking about land and what's taking place in that land. You understand? So we have to be careful that we don't mix land mass with people prophecy, or land prophecy with people prophecy, or we're gonna go left field, y'all, and we're gonna put people in positions that can't be there, and you'll never be able to explain the prophecy. Go ahead. I'm gonna give a perfect example in Ezekiel 16. Though. Go ahead. Where you at?
Verse 4.
Yeah.
And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaw, and I will bring thee forth in all thy ornament, horses, all of them clothed with all sort of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
That's right.
Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Gomer and all the bands of the house of Togarmah of the north quarter, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. After many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter
in the what years?
Latter years, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel.
Against the who?
The mountains of Israel.
So the mountains of Israel is our power head, our high priests and apostles and disciples. See, when it says mountains of Israel, that's talking about the people. If it's talking about the land, it will explain it as land. But when it say the mountains of Israel are like the mountains of Esau, those are talking about the power heads. Those who will come up to Jerusalem once a year from other nations, not their whole nation, just their representative, comes up, get the orders, and take it back to his nation. If they don't come up, which pride is in there, keep them from coming up, then they will get the pounding that they'll get. But when we're Ezekiel 38, Gog and Magog, we're right into, we've jumped to after the 1,000 years. So this is what we have to understand. If we're technically reading, we'll read 37, but 38 really explains chapter 37, because the Bible technically should have been written right to left.
Yes.
So a lot of times, like, people misunderstand Genesis 1, but Genesis 2 explains Genesis 1. Because if you don't understand it from that perspective, you're going to find another man in Genesis 1:26, and then you figure out you got another one in Genesis 2 and 7. They're the same individual. One is explaining what happened. Two is going into detail about one. You're just reading it in the next chapter. The Bible does that. It tells the crime up first, and then the next chapter goes into leading up to that crime, so that you get good understanding. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 8 again.
Yeah.
After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nation. So
you know this is not a mount of Israel, because it can't be talking about a literal mountain in the land of Israel, because you would have to go cut a piece of a mountain from all the other nations, a physical mountain. You understand what I'm saying? How can a mount of Israel be brought back from other nations? You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, get some more.
And they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord God, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates. So where do you think this will take place? That's why those that run in Gog, after millennial period, something's going to jump into them and make them say,
Man, we need to do something about them people living, but it's saying they're unwalled villages. They're not worried about an attack from anybody. We've been running through the 1,000-year millennium. There's unwalled villages. What crime are we worried about? All the nations that are saved, so to speak, that understand that they'll be like Eleazar, the servant of Abraham, and they're prepared to serve, during that time period. The other nations outside of that has to come up, like in Zechariah 14, they're going to be like, man, look, they ain't being protected by nobody. They ain't even got a defense up. We need to go and attack, but this going to be the devil coming back after he's let out to inform them to do these things. Y'all can get them. They ain't even got walls up. It'd be like if you living on Coke Brilliant and you ain't got no front door if it's 2 a.m. You think anybody coming in there? And they see how you dress when you coming back from the club with them gaiters and jewelry on?
Stumbling.
Go ahead, what you got, OG? He had a what? They took the whole door. Yeah, yes sir, yes sir. But as we get this, we'll get a little bit more understanding. We'll go to Ezekiel 16 to clear your mind up a little bit. It'll give you a little food for thought. Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 12.
Yeah.
To take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan, and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say against God, Thus saith the Lord God, In that day when my people Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it, and thou shalt come from the place out of the north part, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company, and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days.
What shall it be?
In the latter days. And I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know thee, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. Thus saith the Lord God, Art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I would bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at the same time when God shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord God, that my fury shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake in my presence. And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord God. And every man's sword shall be against his brother. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. And I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, and overflowing rain, a great hailstone, fire, and brimstone.
See, that's the second comment. He said, this time I'm going to destroy the world by fire. So, fire and brimstone, that's going to get rid of it, because we have to have a new heaven and a new earth. Because they have fire and brimstone too. It's called nuclear warheads. Y'all, and they plan on using them. Go ahead.
verse 23.
Yeah.
Thus will I magnify myself. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
See, then every nation on earth gonna recognize it and say, okay, we give up. Y'all the man, you know. But what I want to do is just so we understand that this is talking about land prophecy. We're going into 39 too. You want to go to 39? Okay, so what we're talking about is land prophecy, y'all. Whoever ruled in the land at that time, this is who the prophecy is for, because people move in and out of lands. So you get a good understanding of what I'm speaking of. Ham, Shem, and Japheth got off the ark. They were all given land masses. Japheth was given Gog and Magog. Well, after Abraham got the promise, everything shifted to his offspring, Ishmael, Isaac, and Jacob. So now these three boys move in and out of the lands of those three lands that were established when they got off the ark. That's all it's talking about. It ain't talking about no other nation. It's just Abraham's seed moving in and out of them lands. Esau has now moved into all of what we would call Japheth's land. But he didn't get off the ark. This is the problem that most people have, and you're going to always struggle with this, trying to put what we consider a white man on the ark. There is no lineage for him until you get to Esau. It's the only other thing you got other than leprosy, but that was just a house of Naaman, and it don't give no information after that. Hell, they could have died with Naaman. What we're talking about is, when does it identify this colored people on that ark, and what is the exception of how they got on there? And how are they the same people today? Russians, Esau had 12 tribes too. Genesis 36 chapter. They've been moving in and out of those lands and conquering the lands because that was the blessing they got. You're going to take everything you get by the sword. You're going to move in and out of lands, and this is what's going to happen. So Russia, the Ukraine, all them is just nation against nation. Ukraine used to be part of Russia. Guess what? Trump just brought them both to Alaska. Guess what Alaska was part of? Magog. They split it. How does America end up with part of Gog or Magog, called Alaska? So they've been put in prophecy, but the original people of those lands were islanders. Islanders controlled those lands at first. And y'all know what islanders are. When last time y'all seen an Eskimo?
On TV.
When last time y'all seen, who runs Hawaii now? Gilligan? He's got an island now. And who is he? He ain't a Samoan. Who were the original Aborigines over in Australia? What did they look like? Weren't they of dark skin? Now who do we see every time we show up? Crocodile Dundee. So it's the face of Esau that's controlling these islands now. New York is an island. And guess what? The islanders used to control these islands called the Indians. But Esau came and took it from them.
That was a question in the chat.
And put them on reservations. They were islanders. So y'all, we have to understand people moving out. But give me that little bit of Ezekiel 16 before we run there. It's something very important here so you understand what I mean by land prophecy. Ezekiel 16 and 1. So we get a good understanding of what we mean by land prophecy versus people prophecy. Because if this is the truth right here, then we ain't Israelites, we Hamites. Everybody in here. Everybody that's claiming this, if we don't understand the difference between land prophecy and people prophecy. Ezekiel 16:1, go ahead, run it.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations.
So this is talking about the land of Jerusalem, her abominations. Go ahead.
And say, Thus saith the Lord God unto Jerusalem, Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan.
So we know that everything we're going to, Abraham was sent back. Y'all going to take the land of Canaan. Jacob, y'all going to take the land of Canaan. So it's saying your birth and nativity is in the land of Canaan. So who is it talking about saying your birthplace is there? Is it talking about the Hamites? Because Canaan got that land, and it was the offspring of Ham and what he had control of Noah's wife. Cursed be Canaan. How did Canaan show up out of a sudden? Go ahead, what else to say?
Thy father was an Amorite.
Thy father was a what?
Amorite. And thy mother an Hittite.
Who are these two nations right here? Who do they descend from? From who? Then if they descend from Ham, then right here he's saying my children were Africans, Hamites. But it's not saying that. It's just saying your beginning was in that land. My people, your beginning, when I started y'all out, because it's the land, it's the navel of planet Earth. I meant for y'all to dwell in the center of planet Earth, like Adam did. That's why I meant y'all dwell. But after the flood, people fell off. Canaan got hold of it. And Canaan been doing wickedness in it ever since. Go ahead. So I want y'all to think about this. Now, y'all just said Canaan was the Hamite, right? Mm-hmm. Who controlling the land right now? Are them Hamites in there? Netanyahu? Y'all hear a lot of times Jay call them where the stew, yet Netanyahu. The stew meaning Esau was asking Jacob, give me some of that stew. So you'll hear him a lot of times say, where the stew, Netanyahu. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Identity thieves. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
And as for thy nativity, in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supple thee. Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. None I pity thee to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee. But thou was cast out in the open field, to the loathing of thy person, in the day that thou was born. And when I passed by thee, I saw thee polluted in thine own blood. I said unto thee when thou was in thy blood, live. Yea, I said unto thee when thou was in thy blood, live. I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field. Thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornament. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thine hair is grown, whereas thou was naked and bare. So right here, what he's starting to get into, he keeps saying your nativity, Israel's beginning. Israel's beginning started in the land of the Amorites and the Hittite. The father of those lands first was Ham descendants, Canaanite. That's where y'all beginning started at. So if somebody say go back to Africa, we always ask them, so do you mean Northeast Africa? Because that's Jerusalem. You want us to go back there? Oh, you're a smart aleck, huh? Right. You know, so we have to understand where the first kingdom was established, our nativity. When we first became a nation and ruled our own nation, it was in the land of Ham. That don't mean we're Hamites. It's just where we got going, like we are in the land of America. That don't mean we're American citizens, but our tribal origin is of the 12, Judah. Because Judah went into hard bondage, he punished us by our doings in Jerusalem. So Judah went worse than the other 10 tribes, so we get the worst punishment. That's why all the other nations that do a form of slavery, everybody point their finger at America and say, y'all was brutal. Y'all was really brutal on them. But a lot of nations had parts in it. Go ahead, bro. All right, verse
7.
Verse 8.
Okay.
Now when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of blood. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee and entered into a covenant.
What did you enter into?
A covenant with thee, saith the Lord God, and thou becamest mine. So
the problem is, if this is not land prophecy, then he's talking about the seed of Ham became his. And it ain't nowhere recorded from Genesis to Revelation that Ham is the offspring. We were just in the land of Ham. Abraham just was told to go to Canaan. Leave your father and your mother's house. I need you to go to Canaan and get it established for my children. We taking it back. Adam had it first. We taking it back from Ham and giving it back to him. You know, but because of the landmass law in Leviticus 19 chapter, you cannot remove a man's landmark until a new heaven and a new earth come. Then it will be called, when the new heaven and new earth, it will be called New Jerusalem at that point. But every landmass today still exists with the original name of the landmass, and it won't be wiped out of the scripture. There'll never be something that come up called Tel Aviv. It ain't in the scripture. It was never Tel Aviv. It's the land of the Amorites and the Hittites and land of Canaan. But they don't want you to know them things, because if they're controlling the land, once again, then they the Canaanites. Y'all, it's not hard. It's just we have to separate the two. But go ahead. We're going to read a little bit more to let you know it can't be nobody else but us, because ain't nobody else fit the description. And now this is a marriage covenant, y'all. And notice what he's saying. He said, I waited till the time of love. First I courted y'all as a nation. I waited. Y'all was naked and bare. Y'all didn't have no understanding. Coming out of Egypt, fresh out of Egypt, and going to Jerusalem. I courted y'all. I made sure that I clothed y'all, I put y'all on good clothing, and I took care of y'all. And I didn't touch y'all until, because he's symbolizing it to a marriage, and how when you're able to take on a bride. He said, I wait till your walls were built up. What do you think the walls are? For a woman, he said, you were out of your training bra. That's when the walls are built up. And then it even used the term, y'all, in the Bible is as graphic as it can get, because it's a marriage covenant. When in marriage, there's intercourse. And he said, and the hair then covered you. I didn't get at y'all when y'all was bare down there. And that's why covenant of men today, they're trying to get at women that's bare down there, and that means that they're underage. The little girl that got her head cut off, that's been going on since the 83, that was over on Belt and Clara somewhere, the missing Miss Jane Doe. They got a special about it now. They say she was being sex trafficked back then. We could tell by the fingernail polish, and she was a little bit large for her size. She looked 14 to 16 years old when we first looked at her body, but then when we examined her totally and pulled her underwear off, we knew that she was between 9 and 11. But they were able to tell because of this same description right here. Only certain things happen to a woman at a certain time. You can't get at them when they're in their training bra. They couldn't suckle, a baby can't suckle in a training bra. So he waited on us basically, and this is coming from a spiritual sense, till we were grown up enough and had the law in us that we understand his covenant, that we could become one flesh. But you can't come one flesh with a child. Talking about marrying a child. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 9.
Yeah.
Then washed I thee with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil. I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. Y'all see how we were dressed up in the marriage ceremony? We had border work, the fine garments. OG Jeremiah don't dress like that for no reason. He got it honest. So, y'all, and then to say badger skin shoes that we had on. Badger skin shoes are waterproof. It don't mean we ain't supposed to have badger around us because it's of the weasel family. It just say you can't eat it. But it's protective shoes. So he said he put us on real protective, or the Timberlands of that day. Badger skin shoes. He's setting it out for us like a man does for his bride. Like Abraham did when he sent Eliezer to go get Rebekah for Isaac. Gifts. Here, I'm letting you know you can be taken care of. My son is going to spread his skirt over you, and this is the protection he has for you. You don't have to worry about starving. Let's get some more. What else to say? Verse 11.
Yeah.
I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck.
And y'all see that word, I decked thee with ornaments? Who are the only people that say, man, he was decked out, dog? See, decking mean the finest of clothing. I did all that for y'all when I married y'all, so y'all understood that I'm a protector and a provider. And not only that, but I'm gonna make sure that, notice how it started off when you were naked and bare. He said, but I waited. I didn't get at y'all when y'all were underage. We were full adults. We had come out of the wilderness where we were being trained like a child. That's called the schoolmaster. You send your children to school to the schoolmaster. And then you become adults. He said, I waited till y'all became adults and got out of the wilderness. Those of y'all who made it through the wilderness. And then let's see what else happened. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
No, verse 12, I'm sorry. And I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thy head. Thus was thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen and silk, embroidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou was exceeding beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom.
See, thou didst prosper into a kingdom. Well, 16:1, they were already a powerhouse kingdom. It was the land of Canaan. Shechem them was running. So it ain't talking about them. It's talking about creating a whole different group of people. All we have to accept is talking about Ham. Which one you want to do? Do we want that? No, we don't want that, do we? To say, well, it did say we were black. No, it's a total different group that this is concerned with. Go ahead. What we talking about?
Verse 14.
Yeah.
And thy renown went forth among the heathens for thy beauty. For it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put upon thee, saith the Lord God. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty.
What did we do?
Trust in thine own beauty, and playest the harlot because of thy renown, and pourest out thy fornications on everyone that passed by.
It was. Y'all see how the Most High set us out, and then this what we turn to? We turn to a street walk on. That quick. What else we do, bro?
Verse 16. And of thy garments thou didst take, and deckest thy high places with divers colors, and playest the harlot thereupon. The like things shall not come, neither shall it be so.
Now notice what it said. It said thou played the harlot. This the only time you're going to see in the Bible a harlot getting punished is that she had to be married. And it always used the term play the harlot. It's a married woman that now wants to act like she's single again. It's like the new song out here, the Megan Thee Stallions and a couple other ones, they saying, the hell with the horse and carriage, I'm a savage. They like, I don't care no more about that. That's a missed thing. Women ain't waiting on that no more to be married. What we do is we marry as many men as we can. We gonna act like a man do. Hell, why he should have all the fun by himself. So they don't want traditional marriage anymore that's being talked about right now. So now we're playing the harlot with many more gods, and that's what it's saying. But those gods don't want us. Ain't no other god or nation on this earth saying, we'll take the children of Israel and we'll marry them. They're like, no, they skanks. They got run out of their land for messing around. And it'd be like manner too. If you saw somebody you knew the same thing and you were at an event, you'd be pointing like this. That's her right there. That's skank woman. Go ahead. What else to say? We're going to just read a couple more verses down to 26. Go ahead.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
Thou hast also taken thy fair jewels of my gold and my silver, which I had given thee, and madest to thyself images of men, and didst commit whoredom with them. So
the same thing we did when we came out of Egypt, when Moses was up there. The first thing them troublemakers said, look, Moses gone. We don't know where he at. He may be dead. Now you need to make us some God. Where did they get the gold from? Where did they pull the gold from? They pulled it off themselves from the supplies that they got from Egypt. They used that gift of the supplies and made another god with it that they could worship at that point. We don't know where Moses went. That fast, y'all see how we give up? We hadn't even got busy in Sinai yet, and we had already turned back. Get some more of that real quick, and we're going to close this out and get another. Go ahead. Yeah.
And took thy broidered garment and covered it them. And thou hast set mine oil and mine incense before them. My meat also which I gave thee, fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed thee. Thou hast even set it before them for a sweet savor. And thus it was, saith the Lord God. Moreover, thou hast taken thy sons and thy daughters, whom thou hast bore unto me, and these hast thou sacrificed unto them to be devoured. Is this of thy whoredoms a small matter?
What he's saying, is this what?
A small matter.
So, and when I said a lot of times, y'all, you'll never see a harlot getting punished in the Bible. I'm talking about a physical situation. The only time people will point to it is it going to be a married woman who played the harlot, who did this. Then there's punishment, death by fire, death by stoning. But the harlot, because Solomon is dealing with two harlots in 1 Kings, 6th chapter, I believe, were the husband of these women. Because he's finna cut a child in half. It was two harlots complaining. They lived in the same house. So whoever this man was running that polygamy game back then, and they had children, because they must have looked just alike, because one woman saying, it's my child. A woman know what a child looks like. But if they both pregnant at the same time, you know, and they're birthed at around the same time, in the same house, notice there was no daddy at court. And Solomon finna split a baby in half, but the one mother say, no, she could have it. He just say, well, that's the mama. Where's the daddy? So all it was talking about, that behavior, there's no punishment because it's a punishment within itself. You either gonna get some STDs, or you're going to be on Maury Povich trying to figure out who the daddy is. That's the punishment for just a harlot or, you know, a woman that's playing married. That's her punishment. But as far as the punishment of a wife playing the harlot, she's locked and loaded. She's married. She cannot bounce around. It's a different punishment for her. It's actually death for her. The prodigal son, who did he spend his money on? Well, did it say and they went and got punished? Jacob on the road saw what he thought was a harlot, but it was his daughter-in-law. Which now violates the law because he can't go into what's promised to his son. So, yes, and it's abomination. That's why even though she played it and got pregnant by him, what did he say? She more
righteous than I.
You know why? Because he gave a staff up to law breaking. Our signet of Judah, the kingship, for 2 or 20 minutes of activity. And then he came back looking for his stuff. He said, where that harlot at? Did anybody say, what you asking about illegal for? Nobody said that, did it? And they say, Tamar has played the harlot. She's pregnant, and she's supposed to be Shayla's wife. And he had to fess it up. And they're like, here, these things belong to the man she was with. And he like, that's my stuff.
And it was you.
Let's get some more, bro.
Verse 21.
Yep.
That thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying harlotry work ain't sin or what I'm talking about, but we're talking about levels of punishment. Y'all understand what I'm saying? One, you get self-punishment. Is there punishment for a man relieving himself if he ain't got no woman? Some will try to go to Onan that spilled it on the ground. But is that the same thing? That's not what that's talking about, because he was in a marriage covenant. He had to give seed to his brother. So he got the cake, but he didn't want the other part of it. That's what he did. So the Lord slayed him because that was evil. So you just tried her and then backed away. Because it said he knew that the seed would not be his. Well, why you do that if you already knew that?
Out there draws.
So now you get punished by your own mouth. This ain't got nothing to do with a man relieving himself, but it say a man can't relieve himself constantly. He can't make Rosie Palm a wife. He can't put a wedding dress on his hand. And I'm trying to keep it clean as I can. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Clean.
That wasn't clean. Don't nobody know what Rosie is. They think I'm talking about. Go ahead, but let's move on. Go ahead. See, y'all trying to start something. Go ahead.
22.
Yeah.
And in all thy abominations and thy whoredoms thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou was naked and bare, and was polluted in thy blood. And it came to pass after all thy wickedness, woe unto thee, saith the Lord God, that thou hast also built unto thee an eminent place, and hast made thee an high place in every street. Thou hast built thy thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and hast made thy beauty to be abhorred, and hast opened thy feet to everyone that passed by, and multiplied thy whoredom. So now that means we're in the spiritual, so we're talking about just chasing every doctrine. And it say by every, you to set up basically whorehouses on every corner, and I hate to use the term like that, but why is there, right here where we at now, here's a church right here, there's one next door, there's one across the street, and there's one across the street. You got 4 or 5 churches in the same block area, and all of them are different denominations. On every street corner. So which one you choose to go up into to show your wares? Shalom, my D, you know? Be careful out there, bro. Go ahead. What else to say? We're going to hold this at 26. 26. Thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians, thy neighbor. Great of flesh.
Great of what?
Flesh. And hast increased thy whoredoms to provoke me to anger. So to provoke the Most High to anger. Now just run Jeremiah 3:8 real quick, and we're going to see why there has to be a new covenant, because he said he was married to us. Now remember, you cannot take a wife back if she got remarried. Now, if y'all went through some bad times, it's hard enough of a man accepting it, and you're not married, your girlfriend go out. Or, like I say, if you're at home and the wife go out, but you know she ain't been remarried, so to speak, can you take her back? If you can get through that and peace is there, but if there's a physical divorce and a remarriage, and she get remarried, and then she get divorced from that man, she cannot come back to you. See, we're trying to marry somebody else and get married to another guy, but they don't want us. Notice the law of return. They let every nation come back to Israel with no problems, but who? Who can't come back and join their marriage covenant? Where we still at? Out in the desert of Damona, scattered through Ascalon, but we can't get into a marriage covenant with them. They like, come on, y'all, just do the skank work y'all doing around here.
Oh, no.
But y'all ain't part of this. We ain't marrying y'all. Jeremiah 3:8, what it say?
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 3.
Where we at? Hold on, let me get that. Y'all, we're tying in the new covenant with this while we enter this. Jeremiah 8 chapter, is that where we at? Hold on, where we at? 3 and 8, yeah. Let's get it. We there, y'all? Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8.
Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8. And I saw when for all the cause whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery.
What did backsliding Israel do?
Committed adultery.
Uh-huh.
I had put her away
Uh-huh.
and given her a bill of divorce.
Uh-huh.
Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not,
Uh-huh.
but went and played the harlot also.
So y'all see how it keeps saying played the harlot. A married woman cannot be a harlot. You're off limits at this point. You can act like one, but the title you can't. You going, Sister Mark? Okay, Sebastian Law. But you cannot escape what the law is. Y'all understand? Do it make sense? So you can only play that. You'll never be single and you still got a covenant tied to you. You're not single until that covenant is broken. But go ahead, read some more.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom.
To the lightness of a what?
Whoredom.
Uh-huh.
That she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stock.
Y'all see that? That's a spiritual side of who we was committing or playing the harlot with. Joining other nations. Joining other religions. Like all of these leaders like Malachi York and all of them, they'll start this new Wabian thing, but the base is they always start out who they was married to, and then they go play the harlot. All of them use biblical names, Yahweh. They all use biblical names. They start off their theme as biblical, and then they start joining to other harlots. Now Malachi York went from Yahweh, the worship of that, to Nubian something, and now he was part Egyptian. You know, he had all of that piled in to this one. Yeah. So you'll have people like, hey, there's a witch doctor around here that's joined on to many names, but names himself and say, this is the marriage covenant I'm with because he names our God in it. But yet he sleeps with the God of Egypt, whores around with it. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But who named the guy? Ain't Ra ain't in his name, which is the God of Egypt. He's saying Elohim. But yet who you flirting around with? Let's get some more.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
And yet for all this her treacherous sister Judah hath not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feignedly, saith the Lord. And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel hath justified herself more than treacherous Judah.
See, justified herself. Why I snuck out and played around. I mean, it ain't no excuse somebody can tell you, well, I got mad, so I went out and threw my legs up in the air. Because I was mad. That's justifying yourself. Go ahead, get some more now.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
Go and proclaim these words toward the north.
Uh-huh.
Saying, return, thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord.
Uh-huh.
And I will not cause my anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thine iniquity.
Only do what?
Acknowledge thine iniquity.
See, y'all, that's the problem that we have today, and a lot of times this new doctrine is going around of people saying you can't judge me. Well, when you say you can't judge me, then that means you're not willing to acknowledge your iniquity. Because judgment is based off of bad behavior. Prophecy, you're being judged. You understand what I'm saying? So when you say you can't judge me, I know I'm doing wrong, but you can't judge me, then that won't acknowledge your iniquity. Because if you did understand that, you would know that nobody in this room, nobody on this earth got a hell or a lake of fire to throw you into. So when someone is giving you understanding, bro, you should stop that. That's against the law. That's a felony, like we say in 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Some will read that and say, oh, they judging us. How dare they judge us? We're not judging you. We're just telling you what God says won't be in the kingdom. If you think you can get in there, go ahead and see if you can get in there. Just go ahead and knock at the door of the kingdom with that same harlot behavior and see if he'll just open the door. You just go ahead. I ain't judging you. I'm just telling you what the matter is. We're judging the matter. This is the matter at hand. Should you be doing this? If the first thing come out of your mouth, you can't judge me, it's a problem with that individual. That individual don't want to be corrected. If they didn't, at that point, then I can say, who is it off limits to at that point? And then if that's the case, then what we worried about being in here for or going anywhere on Sunday if can't nobody be judged or matters be judged? Go ahead, Imam. Huh?
Yes. She said she was tattooed on her chest.
She had a tattoo on her chest?
That's it. You cannot judge.
I mean, it may be true, but to get that out, you went to, you broke a commandment to try to prove another. Make no markings on your body, especially because of that, because anybody see that and then run Leviticus 19:27, I don't know what she gonna say then. You understand what I'm saying? So one law don't defeat another. It should be just to the point, I was in my ignorance at that time, and I was just chasing the world. I was following along with everybody else, and I marked myself, That don't mean nothing. Kobe Bryant got praying hands on his side, on his arm with a psalm. He did, before he died. But yet he had those same praying hands, and he was accused of having his way in a Colorado motel. But he got them hands on her, and that's being seen while you're into bad behavior. Y'all, that's the problem, y'all, we're talking about. Even wearing fringes and you into bad behavior. Every photo they show of us getting carried away captive, we got on fringes. And what are fringes supposed to make you do?
Remember the law?
So what are we going being carried away captive with them on?
Because we're lawbreakers.
See there?
Did you finish that? What verse was you on? You finished that? That's good. Y'all read the rest of that, but give me just Deuteronomy 24:1 so y'all understand what I'm saying about the remarriage, and then we're gonna get to the new covenant. We're gonna take care of two of these questions in one. We're gonna get right to the new covenant. But yes, Ezekiel 38 is a dual prophecy. It goes into from and y'all, this is how it jumps on us. It immediately goes to the second resurrection in 38 and 39 of Ezekiel. But by the time you get to 44, it's back into the 1,000-year millennial reign, because in chapter 48, the land masses are handed out to Dan. Dan, this your land from Gaza to over here to over here. Zebulun, this your land from over here to over there and over there. So it'll give you the drama right up front, and then the next few scriptures get into the details of it.
Link it up with Revelation chapter 20.
And that's what it'll link up to do, so you understand. Wait a minute, we was just in the first resurrection. How did we jump to the second resurrection?
Right.
That's why you have to keep your eyes peeled on the scripture and understand what it's talking and what it's saying to you, so that you keep things in perspective. If not, you're gonna be in a kingdom of your own, and the Antichrist ain't even reigned yet. Huh?
I said right.
So let's get a little bit of Deuteronomy 24:1. What it say? Who got it?
Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1. When a man has taken a wife and married her.
See, notice this, taking a wife and married her is always two parts. These Pharisees today, these camps out here, Israelite camps, just say sex is marriage. So this says there has to be a ceremony with it, so that the public know you're married. You cannot do stealth marriages according to this covenant. You cannot come out and say, y'all don't know it. It'd be like, man, she married to Jimmy. He getting on parole in 2 weeks. What? What you mean? Man, she didn't tell me her husband was in jail. Well, you ain't did no research. Y'all left the club and you call that marriage. See, and the bad thing with that doctrine is there can never be a harlot or a whore with that doctrine. If sex is marriage, then that means whoever you sleep with, whether it's somebody else, you cannot have it with that doctrine. Marriage must be a ceremony so that all the people can stand up and say, wait a minute, I know her. This ain't happening today. That's Earl's woman. You understand what I'm saying? So it will be stopped. But you just can't come out the gate. That was the deal with Joseph and Mary. That's why he wanted to put her away privately. He said, I ain't did none of this, and I'm not going to be held guilty for this, but I'm not going to punish her. I'm not going to punish her. I'm not going to allow her to take the blame for this, so I'll just put her away. But when you get into the Proevangelion of James, it breaks it down on how the elders came to him, and they said, we got to do Numbers 5 with you and Mary, Joseph. And they gave both of them the water that would make their thigh rot. And it only using the word thigh because it don't want to go up further and really get graphic with you. But you know what's between your thighs, both men and women. And when it rots, it gives off an odor that it shouldn't down there. Let's get some more. What does it say?
Verse 1 again.
Yeah.
When a man has taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he has found some uncleanness in her.
What has he found?
Some uncleanness in her. Then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
Now y'all see this, so that kills anybody, the doctrine teaching that there can never be no remarriage. There can be no remarriage of the same original marriage. That's what the scripts say, but she can go and marry somebody else if he don't find no favor in her eyes, or saying, I found some uncleanness in her. Wait a minute, you didn't tell me you used to be a witch. And you told me all of them Ouija boards, then was so you could learn your ABCs. You've been lying this whole time. You a witch.
That's your portion if you
I got to get a divorce from you. Now she can go be another man. I like some witch woman, and he can marry her. But read some more and see what it say. Verse 3.
Verse 3. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and give it to her in her hand, and send her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife.
Either way it is, whether he divorced or he died and she a widow, it's still off limits to who?
Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife, after that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before the Most High. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Most High thy power giveth thee for an inheritance.
So y'all, we have to understand, then they go into a new wife, what you're supposed to do. But y'all see, these laws are so explicit, they lay it out on the line, so nobody can say to you, why you judging me? I ain't judging you. Here it is in the law. And me and Henry found love again after you was married to Leroy. And what did Leroy divorce you for? That man was half crazy. I should have never married him anyway. So I'm coming back to no, you cannot. This is why we're saying there can be no new covenant with us if another nation decides we'll take Israel on as our wife. But no nation does it. They just use us as the harlot that we're playing, the harlot that we are. But we're a divorced woman right now. But nobody don't want us because we played really rough. It's like now you see Kim Kardashian come in. Will you marry her? What are you chasing, the curves? But you know who she been married to. You know what she been playing. Do you marry her? Or take her back? Can Kanye West take her back?
No.
Let's get some more. Read, I just want verse 5. Just read that verse 5.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
When a man has taken a new wife,
What kind of wife?
a new wife,
Uh-huh.
he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business. That he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife, which he hath taken.
And see, and this is what makes for a peaceful marriage, because all business is set aside. Basically, you can't order him around. He has to be to a position to where he can take off and really mend his one flesh together. What happens is we put the cart before the horse. So we're backtracking now. Now we're trying to get back in front of this situation that we did, and it's going to make us struggle to put the horse back in front of the cart. Because now I got to have the ceremony that I should have had at first. Now, because that required courting before the ceremony, and parents or brethren or kinfolk didn't know what we finna do, so we know each other. Then I can look at our family like, oh, that's them Johnsons. They crazy as hell. I know damn well you ain't finna marry that Johnson girl. Is you crazy? You know that was his uncle that got caught with that horse in the bone. You finna marry, get into them people? What you got back to Sister Joyce? If she find what? Well, 1 Corinthians 7 and Mark, I believe it's Mark 14 or Mark 15 that says yes. But look, if he disappears for 7 years, he's considered dead, according to this Bible. If he has not submitted any what the Most High say he provided for us in Ezekiel 16, and what we just read right here, and the rest of the stuff we're reading, what he needs to provide for, if he ain't done that in 7 years, he's dead, according to the Bible. She can file for divorce and go marry another man. She is not forced to stay with that bad behavior or slothfulness for the rest of her life. It's not written in the Bible anywhere, and nobody can point to it and say it's so. What you got?
For this last half hour that you've been explaining, I don't know what it is that you said, but Betty Lemons in the chat is asking, why is it that only a woman can be a whore and not a man? And I don't know. Well,
I never said, and I never used the word whore, I used harlot. Right. The nation of Israel, both men and women played the harlot. Right. It says your sons and your daughters, so I was talking spiritually at first, but then when they come down, now a man can be a whoremongerer. But if he's married and he messes with a single woman, he's committed what we would call a lesser act of fornication. But it's not adultery unless she's married. The only way a man can commit adultery is if he messes with a woman that's married to another man. It ain't listed no other way. Huh?
Or if he's married.
No, not if he's married. If the woman is single, he cannot commit adultery. It's fornication, but it's not adultery. There's two different things. Y'all understand what I'm saying? If when David saw Bathsheba, if she wasn't married, even though he was married, it wouldn't have been the same punishment. But because Uriah the Hittite was her husband, then that's what brought in all the drama. Because when Nathan came to him, he told him, look, you already set up, but you took something that wasn't yours. You had plenty. Why'd you take what wasn't yours? So the plenty would have to be explained first. Why was he allowed that? And why wasn't he allowed to deal with this one? See, because nowhere in the scripture, all throughout the law, the man that lies with another man's wife, he has committed adultery. The woman that lies with another man, being married to a husband, committed adultery. What we're doing is this movement, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Because next question will be asked, well, why can't a woman have two husbands? Because she ain't going to know who the daddy is of the baby.
Confusion.
It's going to route confusion. You're not going to know who the daddy is. You're going to be on Maury Povich. No, that ain't going to get it, mister. They're going to want some DNA. They're going to want some blood. Because they say we all look alike anyway, so that's going to be a problem. You're going to be like on that movie Life. Who's this baby's pappy? And they was just going down the line with it, you know. Who's that baby pappy? Yeah, I'm that baby's pappy. So, y'all, we have to keep with the law. The law is the deciding measurement, y'all, that keeps us from going left field and making judgments that we shouldn't, or like T.D. Jakes wrote a book, Woman, Thou Art Loose from what? From what? What are you loose from? And then they teach that unless your husband dead, but that ain't what the Messiah said in Matthew 19. He said, if a man put away his wife, except it be for what? He committed adultery. So this is what we're talking about. He said it could happen, but if it ain't happening under these guidelines, he better not be caught doing it. He never said you couldn't. He just said, unless it's for this reason, you better not be doing it. Because if you come home and a Ouija board out and tarot cards and a few palm readers are walking around your kitchen, you be like, what the hell is going on in here? I found a new way since your God don't talk to you but every now and then. These people say we can talk to God all the time through what they doing. Then you can say, you got to get the hell out of here. And I mean today. Take all this stuff with you and these people. Y'all get the hell out of here too. You can at that point do it. But just because you come home and you like, I done warned you, this is the last time. I told you, if you don't have my eggs fluffy, like my mama used to cook, I'm divorcing your ass. You cannot do it under those reasons. Fluffy egg divorcement. No, he said you better not play games with this because all you want to do is taste what it is. You don't want the responsibility. And these camps are doing no marriage responsibility. They quote Genesis 3:16. You should obey your husband. But have you ever heard, I'm just asking, has anybody ever heard from these camps? Genesis 3:17. From the sweat of your brow. And bread must come from that. Y'all understand what the Most High did was sweat from our brow. It didn't break us. What it did is it actually was cleansing us while we worked back our way back to the kingdom. If you will, Zed, give me real quick. Benefits of sweat. Yeah, in the face. From the forehead. Just do benefits of sweating in the face. Well, what we're talking about in the face, because this is where you need to get toxins out of. See, because punishment means work detail. When you go to jail, don't they put you on a work detail? You don't get to lay around in jail like this all the time till your whole sentence is over. You're going to be doing something. You're going to be cleaning them floors. You're going to be working the cafeteria. You're going to be doing something to sweat from your brow so you understand your crime. But while you're doing that, it should bring some correction. You should say it was hard enough for 0 cents an hour. I don't want to go back to that work no more. Even though you were sweating under that mind, it should have cleansed your mind. What you got over there, Zed?
Sweating in the face helps regulate body temperature, flush out pores, and deliver antimicrobial and moisturizing pest.
What does it do? Moisturizing doing what?
Moisturizing peptides to the skin surface. For these benefits to be effective, however, it is essential to wash your face afterward to prevent blemishes and irritation. Because
you're getting rid of all the toxins. So what this does is when a man let his woman go do, he put Genesis 3:16 on, then he put Genesis 3:17 on. You go sweat from your brow, I'm going to sit here. Well, sitting there playing the game means weight gain. It means weight gain in the face. There ain't no sweating, so his face is full of toxins. So when all them toxins build on you, they create disease in the mind. And then he go from one level to the next level of trying not to do Genesis 3:17 from the sweat of his brow. It's actually a benefit. He never punishes us that destroys us. That's why slaves always live to 80 and 90 years old. Do you know they say it's a cancer colon problem with young people now 30 and 40 years old? We didn't have them diseases in slavery. And know what else you didn't see out there in them fields? A fat slave. The only fat slave was where? In the house tasting all the food. But when you work and you was getting that sweat out of you, that's why pork didn't kill us as fast as it's doing now. Because we sweated it all out there in them fields. And you never just gained weight to where it could cause diabetes and different things like that. The only one that usually had those diseases was Mammy. In the house. She was full of diseases because they had her tasting everything and eating everything. She was sampling. She was a sample master. So, no, I don't think she is, miss. Yeah. But y'all understand what I'm saying. So why slavery didn't, and they lived longer. But guess what else was in slavery more than it is now? Marriage was at 95% in slavery. 95%.
Children were obedient.
Because the sweat from your brow was getting you back in line. Yeah, it got rough at times, but that came with the territory. But the average slave, we talking about our grandma, she was 104. She was 104. Now we talking about grandmas dying at 58. 59. Go on, what you got up there, two bottles?
Wait, does that mean sweating a lot from having hot flashes?
That's something different.
That's actually Genesis 3, and that was part of these come with you, multiple conceptions. That's part of that behavior. You had to go through that cycle to get it out, you know.
Them fans.
Yeah, what them fans at, yeah. But hot flash is a system you go through as far as when you change and cycle. Men go through it too, but they shouldn't have hot flashes. But you do go through a cycle that where you're not able to anymore, and a man, they say these things are departed from you as a man. That's why Abraham them thought it was going to be Eliezer. He said, I'm past that point of reproducing. You know what I'm saying? I've been to that part, and that's a sign to let a woman know she's getting to the point she can't reproduce anymore. Menopause, that means reproduction has been cut off.
Menopause.
You know. Mr. Messing with you. Yeah. So y'all, we want to make things clear according to the law of the Bible. Everything we're doing is from the law, so you can go to the law and see it, and we don't guess or speculate. But what a woman goes through, but give me 1 Timothy 2, verse 12 through 15. It's gonna say something about being saved in childbearing. All of this is related to childbearing. And say if the husband and the wife come back together and they become one mind, because that's what Sirach say, these are the things that the Most High loves. A husband and a wife that agree. They're truly one flesh. It's like Tobit and his wife in the book of Tobit in the Apocrypha. Truly one flesh.
What you say, two and what? Two and what?
Is that where it says suffer not a woman?
Oh, yeah.
What does it say right there?
Yeah. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15.
Verse 12 through 15.
Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man.
So let's get that first. It didn't say she couldn't teach. It just said over the man while usurping authority. If you see what Aunt Esther do to Woodrow, that's what it means. It don't mean she can't teach, because it tell you women teach the younger women and do different things. You know, can she be a helpmeet? Can she fill in the gap when a man has slipped a little bit? Can a woman circumcise?
Yep. Got to. It's a poorly circumcised.
See, that's what we're talking about, because some men are saying, well, woman can't baptize. They take this usurping authority over everything. Now, if she tell them, get out the way, you don't know what the hell you're doing, give me that knife. Hold Junior up there. And start cutting on him, then that's usurping authority. Jezebel usurped authority on Ahab. That's what it means to usurp authority. But women, and look, Acts 19, it said Priscilla and Aquila taught Apollo. It said they taught him. They taught him. It didn't say he taught them. It says they, but there's order. It's like Miriam was a prophetess, right? Aaron's sister, and Aaron was a prophet and Moses. Miriam and Aaron spoke out against Moses, but who got punished? Miriam, because she leapfrogged over and told him, you breaking the covenant. You ain't supposed to be married to that black-ass Ethiopian woman. God made us prophets too, and I'm telling you, you breaking prophecy. The Lord said, wait a minute, both y'all come out here, because Aaron didn't say nothing, being the big brother. He didn't say a word. Yeah, you right, you a prophetess. Yeah. It didn't say she could be a prophetess. It just said that she leapfrogged Aaron and went right at Moses, and she was turned to a leper for 7 days. So, but who got something back there before we read that 10?
So is this the verse that women pastors want to get away with? The way that you're explaining it, the way they're explaining it to their congregation?
What exactly, sis?
I'm just saying, is this the scripture that they can get away, that they can teach, preach?
Is this the scripture that they can? No, well, I mean, what they're doing is they don't have no laws or no rules, so they make it up on the fly. What you have to understand is they're using certain passages to do certain things, but it still must be order. There has to be a situation that a woman's allowed to come in and allowed to establish a situation that a man is responsible for, like the daughters of Zehoshaphat. The law say a man must pass his inheritance to his firstborn son. Well, he ain't got no sons, he only got daughters, and he up in age and he getting ready to die. What does he do? Because he can't pass an inheritance if we stick by the letter of the law. Who he gonna pass it to? So what it says is, that was a good question, so they went to the Lord, and the Lord said, I tell you what, long as she married somebody out of the same tribe, because we don't want the tribe split up, we want to keep them separate. Then if she's a Judite and he's a Judite, then they can marry, and her father's inheritance will go to her husband of the same tribe. Now, if she don't marry a Judite and she's a Judite, and she marry a Reubenite, her father's inheritance goes to his side of the family, the Reubenite side, where the son is at. Y'all understand? So no law overrides another. It's just people don't know what the law is according to the Bible, because they tell them it's done away with when it's punishment that they don't like, and they keep the ones that they do like. Like, will a man rob God? Where's that in the Old Testament or the New Testament? It says, you have robbed me in tithes and offering, Malachi 3:8. But tithing is a law, according to Nehemiah 10:36, Numbers 20:18. It says tithing is a law. It's a commanded law. So if the laws are done away with, why is this the only one that you keep?
You're trying to mess with my money.
See, because if they tell you enough that is done away with, then they dictate you how you should believe at that point. But what they've done is taken all the judgment out, and they become the chief judge over you at this point. They start to dictate to you what's law and what's not.
But then Sirach 35 says he that keepeth the law bringeth comfort enough.
That's what we're talking about, bro. So, but they don't want that at church.
Right.
If they say, Pastor, I've been praying, that's all I got now. You're going to have to pray harder for something to come in your pockets when you come
You
here.
have to dig a little deeper, sister.
That's what you're going to have to pray for, something to put in the pot.
You praying for yourself. You got to pray for the church.
And look, y'all, it ain't like we making these things up here. I've been watching a little bit of that BMF series and his mother becoming a pastor, but the Church Christianity Board is working her over. They like, you supposed to suffer a minute. Wait a minute, we heard you wore Gucci one day. And she say, so I'm supposed to just suffer? Yeah, you supposed to suffer, but they sitting up there in Gucci. You understand what I'm saying? It's just that nothing can be found in the scripture of what their process was doing. But women cannot teach men. There can be no woman sitting up here. It was 12 disciples, but guess who hung around? Martha and Mary was always there. Do you see them at the Last Supper table? Do you see them going out on a mission by themselves, or do they report back to the 12 brothers? We're not saying that. We're saying it's order.
Yes, sir.
And when break ranks for order, if a woman is put in that position to help it get back in order, and we got the seed of a woman. Since when does a woman have seed? And it has to be explained, why is it using that term? When does it's in the war in heaven, Revelation 12, the seed of the woman. It's in Genesis, the seed of the woman. It didn't say Adam's seed, it's saying the seed of the woman. So y'all, we have to think outside the box and understand that sometimes a woman will have to come in and pull a position because the man has lost his spot or his position, but they still one flesh. Let me ask y'all this, and then we're going to keep moving because we ain't got about a half hour. Is what Abigail did to Nabal terrible with David? See, because these camps teach that a handmaid is a side woman or a secondary or third wife. Well, she said to David, I will be a handmaid of the Lord. That's what I'll be. Nabal is still alive at this point. Don't care because he's an alcoholic. He's still alive. Can she say that? Because that blows their doctrine out the water. Because they make her an adulterer at this point. And God blessed her. It don't make sense, y'all. Y'all understand what I'm saying? What she did, she knew David was the king. She said, look, I'm going to be a servant in the house of the Lord. Well, look, y'all understand, look. Technically, like Emo and Mr. Mary right here. So, but she's a handmaid of the Lord. She makes sure we get everything there. But the rules of her husband cannot be leapfrogged. It cannot be, he cannot be pushed aside for her for what she do as a handmaid, because her first rule is to who? To her husband. That's it. So there's no way a position we will put her in any position to go against him. Under no circumstances. I don't care what the benefit may be. Y'all understand what we're saying? Yeah. That's how it has to be, y'all. Once you lose that and they get control and they start dictating, it ain't no longer his wife, it's our wife now. And that's going to make it bad for a household, and that's what churches do. That's why I say devour widows' houses and take over. It's because you are now trusting them as the head of your household instead of the Messiah. And the Messiah ain't never, ever, ever took over nobody's household. The woman at the well, he said, first thing he asked her, where your husband at? And she said, well, I ain't married now. He said, yeah, I know that. You had 5 husbands. But the one you with now is not your husband. Did he say you're fornicating and you're a whore and you're an adulterer? Or did he say go and sin no more? He didn't even tell her to go and sin no more. She said, I'm going to tell everybody I just met the Messiah. He know everything about me. So at that point, living with another man individually that they were not husband didn't constitute him to have her stoned at that point. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying shacking is legal. What I'm saying is it comes with a host of its own problems. You're not going to get tax benefit breaks. The birth certificate ain't going to be there. You actually have to list the child as a bastard because he can't have the legal married name. So it's self-correcting come in all those parts. And guess what happened? Usually if they correct that, they find a man that may not can have children or different things, looking for a woman that may have her children disciplined. And he becomes Sirach 4 and 8, the word say, let him be a father more to the children than a husband to their mother. Because you got a package deal you just dealt with. These campus teaching, you got to send the babies back to them. You're driving the fatherless and the widow to another high level. You don't know what's going on with his daddy, why she with him. You understand what I'm saying? He could be out there on dope. What you gonna send the child back to, on the corner? That ain't what the scriptures say. That's why I say the fatherless and the widows. Joseph was the ultimate stepdaddy. And do you know these camps hate that so bad they'll say he had illegal marriage with Mary instead of just saying he was a stepdaddy because their doctrine teaches you can't be no stepdaddy. Get rid of it. And guess what they label it to? See, we lions like in the jungle. When a lion come in and it's cubs from another, they kill all the cubs. So why you send them back to the daddy? Nigga, do like the lion. Kill the cubs then. Let's see where you stand then. Be like exactly what you explained. Kill the cub.
He lying.
Let's see where you stand at that point.
He lying.
Y'all understand? At one time you will reduce yourself to beast mode, but it's all for swiveling below the hips. You do not want the responsibility of a package deal. And ain't nowhere in the Bible it ever say, cast off the seed of another man that's not yours. How then could you have the daughters as a Zelophehad when your brother takes your wife and he gives seed? It ain't his child, it's actually his dead brother's child. How is that possible? And it has to be raised as his brother's child, not his. I had the ultimate stepdad. Never knew that he wasn't. Never had to worry about who it was. It came to pass, but I never missed anything. But you know why? Now I understand why my mama wielded that Hot Wheel track like she did. She wasn't going to give him an opportunity to say this package deal is out and we got to get rid of it. You don't have to worry about that. I'm going to get this straight. I got this. You don't ever have to worry about behavior. But today it's a total different story with the offspring. There's a lot of language out there, and so men automatically, when they meet a woman with a child, they already have disdain for the child. So what do you actually want with the mother? Real quick, hit me Sirach 4 and 8. Just hit me Sirach 4 and 8 so we can get some understanding. And then we're going to move on, y'all. We kind of run out of time, and I want to grab this last one while we got a half hour.
Got 2 more questions.
2 more on that? Is they quicker? Because look, we went through Ezekiel where it was a dual prophecy. So what we want to do, I still want to get to some 1 John because I want to deal with the situation of who is your brother, you know. And the Messiah explained to us, those that keep the word of God. This my mother and my brother. And what we're talking about is a spiritual sense. That don't take away, if your mama ain't keeping the laws of God, that don't mean it's not your earthly mother and you don't have to listen to her. But if there's a spiritual mother that's nurturing according to the word of God, that's your sister. That's your mother in the eyes of Christ. Lot was Abraham's nephew, right? Why does he call him his brother? They say that he got your brother. It was his nephew, though. Because they're on the same spiritual wavelength. There ain't no uncles, grandfather. There's only one father at that point. And we are the children of the Most High. So we're all brothers and sisters, and that's what it say you'll be like in the kingdom. That's why the woman that has 7 husbands, which one going to be her husband in the resurrection? Neither one, they'll be like brothers and sisters. Because if you don't, you're going to have the color purple. You're going to have Mr. and that other smooth-haired dude with the fine mustache tomorrow. You had it your way, and I had a mine. In the kingdom? And what she doing? She's smiling, listening. Yeah, I sure had both of them. She's listening to their conversation about the way they had her. You can't have that in the kingdom. Which man she going to run to if she see all 7 of them make it to the kingdom? Henry, James, Willie Earl. I don't know which one of y'all to choose. That's why there's no marriage for the resurrected. But there will be marriage because there'll be people still left alive after the second coming, and they have to reproduce like Adam them did before they sinned, not after they sinned. If they'd have had a child before they sinned, that child would have been a blessed child, possibly born like Enoch or translated like Enoch was. But because they sinned like that, we got stain on them now. And the child will be shaping in iniquity, not born in sin, just shaping in the sin that was caused in the garden. Did you ever hit that 110? What you want? Sirach 4 and 8? Go ahead, hit Sirach, and then we hit that 110, then we'll move on.
Sirach.
Is that 4 and 8?
Sirach chapter 4, verse 8.
What it say?
Let not it grieve thee to bow down thine ear to the poor and give him a friendly answer with meekness. Deliver him that suffereth wrong from the hand of the oppressor.
Is that, or is it 8 and 4? One or the other.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I'm looking at 8 and 4.
I don't think that is.
But that's good too, because that's what you have to do about the poor. He said the poor you have with you always. There's always going to be a child out there that don't have their father or mother.
It ain't.
I was just rapping with King. You know, y'all know King down in Florida. He's a mentor. The children at his school, his son goes to this one school, but a lot of them don't have fathers. So when he come in, he ensured that those that are struggling a bit are taken care of, y'all. 14 and what? 4 and 10? Okay. 4 and 10, and you was right there. You just had to read down. 4 and 10. Yes, sir, that's what I want.
Oh yeah, I should just read the next
Yeah,
one.
go. You in there, they gonna read 9 and 10.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
Deliver him that suffereth wrong from the hand of the oppressor. And be not faint-hearted when thou sittest in the judgment.
And be not faint-hearted when y'all sit in judgment. When somebody say you can't judge me, this is a judgment matter. Verse 9. You're delivering somebody from the hand of oppressor. If you see somebody oppressing and causing a problem for a child, you have to, ain't know what you mean you can't judge me. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of an husband unto their mother. So shalt thou be as the son of the Most High. And he shall love thee more than thy mother does.
See how he flipping the script on that? He say if you love another child more than a mother in the marriage covenant, then I'm gonna love you more in our marriage covenant. Shalom, yes. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna love you more.
That's right.
Because I'm y'all technically stepdaddy. I ain't y'all real daddy, so to speak. I created y'all, but your daddy is the one that sired you, but I'm giving y'all a pattern of what to do because we're losing fathers out here. And it don't take care of grown men. It says the fatherless and the widows. A man is a widower. It only takes care of women and children. And then a lot of people, they hate child. But see, this nation put you on child support. This nation is taking care of the fatherless and the widows. They're taking care of your children and the woman. That's all it is. But because the government is telling you to do it, you look at it like the government is ruling your household. The government is doing the same thing the Bible is doing. The same thing. You just can't keep making children and just point them out. That one's mine, that one's mine, that one's mine. And they don't know you. They have to know you. You know why? Because they can end up with their sister if they don't know you. And if they don't know who your other children are, they have to know. Okay, don't go over on Cote Brilliant. You got 2 sisters over there. You of age now. Stay away from off of Cote Brilliant in the 3900 block. Why, Daddy? Stay the hell away from Cote Brilliant, the 3900 block. And the devil say, go over there and see what's on the 39 block. Them 2 girls look just like me. That's such and such from the high school. I was going to ask her to the prom. No, you ain't. Go ahead, bro. Where you at on that? You on that 110 now?
All right, back to 110.
Yeah. Just 12 through 15.
First Tim, chapter 2.
Yeah. Well, I'm down to 15? Okay. Go ahead, well. No, that's 406, man. Why you trying to fool me? Go ahead, bro. You see that is? Yeah, go ahead.
First Tim, chapter 2, verse 12.
Yeah.
But I suffer not that a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
Was in the what?
Transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
What shall she be?
She shall be saved in childbearing.
So that sin of teaching or getting in front of the man and then sex is happening, then she will be, that curse that was on her, the curse of multiple conceptions. That means twinning a lot. So you get double the pain. It ain't like the double-mint twins. No, you get double the pain. You holler like you do for one, you're going to holler the same too when number 2 come out. So you get double the pain. That's why it's called multiple conceptions. And then what else came with that was painful during that time of the month. Pain came with that. All of this came around usurping authority. And basically what happened was, she told Adam what the deal was. And he's, what you talking, woman? What you talking? Look, I'm telling you, this was the tree. Why? I'm telling you this what it was. And they say he listened, you know. And that's why he tried to put it off on her and say, well, the woman you gave to me. But he said, but what did I tell you? I told you not to listen things that are not commandment bound. You know why? Because of Numbers 30th chapter. Number 30 it say a man have the power. If he hear his woman praying and it's not lawful, he can say, Lord, disavow it, and it will never go past. And see, and about remarriage again, why you can't come back and different things is because it also say, if a woman has made a vow to the Lord in her husband's house, in her father's house, that vow stays with her for life. So she has to tell, if she get married, a vow I made to God about this, because it don't go away. You can't marry out of your vow to the Lord. When you make a vow to the Lord, you on the hook for life. That's why I say let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Say I affirm. But when you say, Lord, I swear that I'll do this, and then you go back on your word, that's the worst thing you can do with the Most High. It's the worst thing you can do in this court system. When they give you the book and say, do you swear? Perjury is on the line. You have to say, I affirm, and that takes perjury out. But when you vow, yes, you right, yeah, I swear, I'ma tell it like it T.I. is. I'ma tell it like it T.I. is. Is your big mama that you love the most, the biggest dope dealer on the north side? Wait a minute. Y'all didn't tell me y'all was gonna ask that. Well, notice you're under perjury now if you lie at this point. What are you gonna do but bust out crying? Lord have mercy, big mama. I didn't know you was running it like that. Go ahead, bro.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 2.
What it say?
Be not rash with thy mouth. And let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before God. God is in heaven, and though upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Verse 4. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not the payment, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better it is that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay.
See, vow and cannot pay. Go ahead, Too-Bad.
Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
Just sin. Yes, sir.
Neither say thou before the angels that it was an error.
You
should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the works of thy hands.
see, that's why you cannot make a vow and then you swear to God like this. You done put everything on the table. You done threw your whole worth on the table and say, I'm all in with this vow. And then all of a sudden, well, I didn't mean it like this. I had my fingers like this behind my back. Not with the Most High, you better not. Man, you can do that foolishness with. But when you make a vow to the Most High, you have to keep your word. There's penalties for vows not kept. It's in Leviticus 19 about vows. It's all throughout the covenant with and then the free will vow. Genesis 30, when Jacob made a covenant with the Most High, he said, if you will protect me, he said, then I will serve you. I'll make a vow. I'll never leave you. I will never ever turn my back on you. And he stuck to his vows. But we'll turn on a vow in me. We put everything on my mama. Dog, I put that on my mama and lying like the devil. I put that on my mama. You don't think that go away? That can't go away. Your mother may face damnation now because of a vow you made to the Lord about lying. But Numbers 30 get into the power that a man has. If you don't want to confront a woman and you hear something crazy, she been hanging out with a Eastern Star or some woman that's, able to usurp authority. And all you have to do is say, well, I ain't Lord, disavow everything that just was said. And she'll start to figure out why don't nothing come to pass. That's the power that the man have over the household. He has power over her prayers because he's the head of it. If you don't say nothing, he said if he hear her say something, he don't say nothing. And he hear her on the phone talking, yeah, girl, and I'm going back to Egypt. This man ain't worth 2 dead flies. And he don't say nothing, then that vow will stand. but he must interrupt. Now I say if he don't hear it, then it ain't no fault to him. If he didn't hear it, he'll just deal with her. But a lot of times women make vows in their father's house, then they get married and they think they can get rid of that vow. A lot of times they think this tied to what's called a soul mate. You don't have a soul mate. Your soul mate is the Most High. You're not designed to be connected with somebody else. There's regulations and rules about marriage. There ain't nobody that was picked from the stars for you to marry. Because if it go awry, who you gonna blame? I didn't ask for it like Adam. I didn't ask for it. Look, she came out of his rib and he still didn't want no parts of it.
That's your portion.
That's your portion. Hold on.
You said you wanted that.
Yeah, okay, so, and like we were saying though, if you think that, just give me a little bit of 1 Corinthians 7, y'all, then we're going to get on these last two while we got 20 minutes. Y'all, no, we got 16 minutes. We're going to get through with that. But just give me that 1 Corinthians 7, 1 through 3, so that we understand that when we're talking about equality, there's 50-50 in a marriage. She has 50% of Genesis 3:16. He has 50% of Genesis 3:17. They must complete their 50%. But when it comes down to the head of household, he cannot drop below 51%. She cannot rise above 49%. If they're 50-50 in the household, then you got roommates. So when it knocks out, it's the man of the house there. Get out the way, Henry. We both equal up in here. What you want, man? Nothing now. And he behind it. Just get out of here. Get out of here fast. You see what you got me and Captain? Get your ass off the porch. So that's what we have to understand. Everybody has their part in the marriage, and then one gets the head of household. One gets the power to say, no, Lord. Now that works both ways too. He can hear her saying a righteous prayer and disavow it, and he'll end up like Nabal. Heart attack. Because you can get to the point that you misunderstand these scriptures and think, she can't never tell me nothing, whether it's good for my life or not. Right. This is where these camps teach. I don't give a care what she say. I don't give a sugar, honey, iced tea, what she say.
Right, that's why Sirach said, be not a lion in thy house.
Be not a lion in thy house. Because if you do, what they're going to mean is it could be life-saving. If Moses had said to her, woman, if you don't put that sharp stone down and shut the hell up tomorrow, I didn't circumcise him because your daddy told me not to. Now, get on back there and get behind me. He would have been dead because the Most High sent an angel to kill Moses. He going to Pharaoh and you ain't obeyed me? How you going to give out obedience and you in disobedience? Right. So she saved his life at that point. So 1 Corinthians 7, 1 through 4. Just real quick, y'all. Real quick, y'all.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Verse 1.
Go ahead.
Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
Is that good? Well, we know all the laws say it's a blessing thing, but once you do it, ain't no turning back. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, to avoid fornication.
To do what?
Avoid fornication. Let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence. So that's 50% that she owed to him. Due benevolence is due. Go ahead. And likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power over her own body. Now they will stop right there. Stop it right there. Right. No need to read further. But it's a comma. It's more to that verse. What the hell did I say? Stop it right there. But keep reading. We're going to keep reading. But the husband, and likewise also the husband has not power over his own body, but the wife. So what is that telling y'all? Right. She's got power over his body. If I see you finna go get yourself into trouble, look here, we need a sister wife up in here, and Belinda is looking mighty fine to me. I know damn well you ain't talking about hot tail Belinda. The one everybody at the club done had, you finna bring her in the no the hell you ain't? And you talking about raw dogging? You're not gonna bring Belinda's hot mess up in her. Not on this body you ain't. I'm the man, I can say what go. No the hell you ain't.
You go out there and get them itchy scratches yourself. But don't come back here with that. She has power to prevent that from happening because that's what these men are doing now. They're just grabbing any woman they can find and say it's legal. Any woman. It don't matter. Look, all these wars you've been hearing, all of these are women that just belonging somewhere else. And it's just Pharisee, it's just Hebrew Christianity. They're making the rules up as they go. But we'll hold that, y'all. I just want to hit this last one while we got 14 minutes now.
Where we going?
We're going to 1 John 4. Hold on, I want to see what that Mark 12 is. What's that Mark 12, 1 through 11, huh? Well, yeah, that's what they'll call it to try to make it sound something, that appealing that you may ain't never heard, but he may really know something. And the Bible ain't never called it such language. What that means is I don't have to check with who her dad is. Y'all ever seen, I'm just talking about any one of these boys that say they got 10 wives. Have y'all ever seen, they post everything else, but have you ever seen them post their marriage ceremonies? Here he is, y'all, and my new bride, this is her mother and her father, and this is her brothers and sisters over here, and, they understand what's going on. Have y'all ever seen that? Let me tell you what we heard around her. Somebody took on a wife and then they died, and they say, do anybody know her in St. Louis? Her family. Wait a minute. You say this your wife, and you don't know who her family members are? And you asking us.
Let me read this right quick. Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
It can't diminish.
And if he do not these three unto her, then she shall go out free without money.
That's a woman divorced because it's saying, look, you can't get me, and then you started off with a Big Mac for her, and now we have to share a Happy Meal. That means we done diminished.
That meal ain't happy.
No, that meal ain't happy. Yes, sir. But let me look at this Mark 1 through 11. Let me see what it's saying.
That was Exodus 21:10 you just read there?
Yeah.
All right, the book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 1. And he began to speak unto them by parable. A certain man planted a vineyard, and set a hedge about it, and did a place for the wine vat, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen, and went into a far country. And at the season he sent to his husbandman a servant, that he might receive from the husbandman of the fruit of the vineyard. And they caught him and beat him and sent him away empty.
So we can answer that now before we get through all that. That's a parable of basically the kingdom and the father sending his son. They believe everybody else, the soothsayers, but when the actual son came, they stoned all the prophets.
Yeah.
So what that's saying is when a righteous man is sent to you, don't want to hear judgment. We do not want to hear judgment. You know why? Because we like what we're doing, because it's so wickedly sweet.
You can't judge me.
You can't judge me. What you can't judge me means I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because there's no judgment for it. But who can judge you? So if we see in there what God says, you just, well, I don't take it like that. Well, see, you can't win that situation. So ain't no need to getting into the fire with that. But that's simply what you were going through now. It just said he finally sent his son. It was just giving a parable, and they wouldn't even listen to him.
Right.
So they stoned him to death. And he said, so what do you think that father going to do about his own son?
Right.
So that's what that was. We can move past that one. 1 John 4. And this is about the brother in 1 Corinthians 5. Y'all will close out. And we'll do the Jeremiah 8 and 8 and the Jeremiah 31:31, Hebrews 8 and 8. The old covenant is the same covenant. Ain't nothing changed with the priesthood. Marriage is still the same under Aaron as it is Melchizedek. There ain't no different. What's become different is the priests have fooled everybody that they in control.
Where we going?
1 John 4.
Yeah, hold on, let me get right to it now. Is that about loving your brother? Let me get right to it now. 1 John 4. Maybe 1 John 2 I want. 1 John 2 what I want? Yeah. Yes, sir, that's what I want. 1 John 2.
What you want to start at?
You're going to go 1 through 14.
Out of the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 1.
Yeah.
My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not.
That we do what?
Sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous.
The who?
The righteous.
Yes, sir.
And he is the propitiation for our sins. And not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world.
For the sins of the whole world. So other nations, they have to bow down too, and he'll forgive them of their transgression. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments.
If we do what?
Keep his commandments.
It's the only way you can know or be connected with this is if you keep his commandments. Ain't no love, there's no other love. This love is conditional. What do we keep hearing? You got to have unconditional love. Well, that means anything can go.
Faith is a commandment.
And faith is a commandment. Go ahead.
Verse 4. He that said, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar.
What is he?
A liar. And the truth is not in him. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him.
So if you see him keeping the law of God, and he's off that felony list in Ezekiel 18 and 1 Corinthians 6 and 9, you say this is a man of the Lord. He's off the felony list. There's 9 felonies on there. We got 513 laws it say? 613 laws, so to speak, statutes and judgments. 9 of them out of those 613 are the most dangerous ones you can be caught up in. The other ones, misdemeanor, fines, self-punishment. But those 9 felonies, you have to stay off that list. Look, we may run a stoplight, see it turning yellow and then red, you don't see no more cars, you may fly through there. You could get a ticket, right, if a popo's sitting over there. But you say, I could pay that ticket. But if you go through that light and see traffic already going through it, now you're facing vehicular homicide because you see that I possibly can kill somebody right now. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also to walk, even as he walked. Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you.
What did he say he ain't doing?
I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment.
But what kind of commandment?
Old commandment, which ye had from the beginning.
Which we had from the beginning. Love your brother. Ain't that what Cain and Abel was told? That's from the beginning in this. That's what Lucifer was told in the heavens, but he didn't love his brothers. He murdered them third of angels that fell with him. That was conspiracy to commit murder, and they have to take the blame too. Go ahead. What else it say?
The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning. Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you. Because the darkness is past, and the true light now shines. He that saith he is in the light, and hateth his brother, is in darkness even until now.
So now you wonder, is this talking about fleshly brother or a spiritual brother? So we have to determine that. He that say he loves his brother, but he that hates his brother is still in darkness. And what we're talking about is a brother. We're talking about player hate. You know, if you're in this room and we ain't got no animosity, but, you know, you may be just angry, you know, about something. I can't really stand that nigga, though. And basically what'll happen is you'll be in the congregation and you'll feel heat coming at you to try to, you'll see little nitpicking and you're like, wait a minute. This sounds like it's an enemy up here in this fold. That's why we have to be Psalm 133. We have to agree together. But if you have something and somebody like, yeah, but he ain't never seen Jeremiah 5. If you're whispering that to somebody else in the congregation, then there's division finna come in here. Go to him and tell him that. Why won't you tell him? Why? Because he'll make you play by the rules? Well, give me the other witness for that. See, I knew you was going to go there. See, I knew you was going to go there.
You and your feelings.
Yeah. Go ahead. What else to say, bro? We're going to hit this last one. We're going to close on out. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
He that loveth his brother abideth in the light.
What does he abide in?
The light.
Uh-huh.
And there is none occasion of stumbling in him.
Uh-huh.
But he that hateth his brother is in darkness,
Uh-huh.
and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth,
Uh-huh.
because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
Yes, sir.
I write unto you, little children, because your sins are forgiven for his name's sake.
Uh-huh.
I write unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I write unto you, young men, because ye have overcome the wicked one.
What have we overcome?
The wicked one.
Uh-huh.
I write unto you, little children, because ye have known the Father. I have written unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning.
Right.
I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong, and the word of Yahweh abideth in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Yes, sir.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
You can hold that. So, but verse 16, read that again. Read verse 16.
15.
16.
16.
All right, verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eye,
Uh-huh.
and the pride of life.
And the what?
Pride of life
Uh-huh.
is not of the Father, but is of the world.
So pride is the thing that made Lucifer fall. It was nobody that whispered in Lucifer's ear and say, go against the Father. Pride is an element within you it's a self-checking measurement that makes sure that if you think my sugar honey iced tea don't stink. That's what pride is. Pride means that, yeah, I was created, but I'm better than my creator. That's pride. Pride is what Lucifer, when he's let out, is going to the nations because they are in that saved realm. They cannot technically be put to death and have a tombstone. They will lose their life in the lake of fire, eternal death. But it will be pride because they went through salvation. And when the devil is loose, he going to say, so y'all going to do this for 1,000 years. We y'all just did 1,000. Y'all think y'all can do this till it's time? It don't stop. Y'all going to be servants to them forever. And it will be pride that'll swell up in them. Yeah, he's right. Man, just forever?
And not even
And ever?
He done already got beat up twice.
Ah, boy. And that's what will cause the nations to go back, and then they get the final ultimate death sentence like Lucifer, who just conned them. But it's pride. No matter what is the parade that they doing right now?
Gay pride.
Gay pride parade. Notice the word pride is in there because they're specifically targeting the Most High and letting it be known what is causing our problem. Ain't nobody convinced me that this is who I am. This is who I want to be. How you gonna tell me who I can be? So hold that right real quick. And then King was asking about, you'll hear a lot of people say, well, you can't judge me when you're giving them instructions. So go to 1 Corinthians 6 and 1. We're going to read 1 through 6, y'all. We're going to close out. And Jeremiah and Hebrew, because it say the same thing we was asked about old and new covenant. It's the same covenant. Marriage covenant is the same. It don't change. So when anybody run to you, you can't judge them. It's not judging them specifically or tell them you're going to hell. It's the matter. It's the situation that's going on. Man, I know you ain't gonna walk up into that bank with that pistol. How you gonna judge me, man? Shit, it's open carry up in here, but not in that bank. Right. Don't you go up in there with that. You can't judge me. Okay, all right.
You will be judged.
Okay, yeah.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1.
Yeah.
Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust,
Yeah.
and not before the saints? Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
What are the saints going to do?
Judge the world.
So if we're going to judge the world, I don't want to hear that you can't judge me. The world on deck. Go ahead, what else it say? But it says the saints. So you would have to be in a saint mindset to be able to understand this. Go ahead.
And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matter?
If you unworthy, we judging Donald Trump now. Why you can't judge your brother and what we're talking about judging the matter? Look, man, it's a situation. No, dog, see, Cole, this ain't acting right. You like, well, if it don't change, what you gonna do tomorrow? See, now judgment gonna come in because you only got two choices here at this point. Well, I'm gonna do this. Well, that's gonna get you jail time. You just don't understand. You ain't never walked in my shoes. Yeah. I'm just telling you, it's a lot of other people in the penitentiary that got them same shoes on, and I'm just telling you, do you want to wear them shoes?
And now they walking short. They got a 6 foot span they can walk in.
Boy, look here. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Know ye not that ye shall judge angels?
Well, who are we going to judge?
Angels. How much more things that pertain to this life?
To this life, if you're going to deal with supernatural, what is flesh? You're dealing with powers that can't have a normal funeral. Their funeral is the lake of fire. Why we can't judge a small matter between brothers right here? But verse 9, go ahead, what else say? Real quick.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church.
Is that 12?
I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren. But
judge between who?
His brethren. But brother goeth to law with brother. And that before the unbelieving.
And before the unbelieving, y'all, we want to be the hierarchy and want to be in charge of everything that will show out before an unbeliever. You and him are walking the same walk, but yet y'all got an unbeliever and y'all battling about who's going to be the chief teacher, right? Nigga, you don't know nothing. I'm the one that taught you. Now shut up. Yeah, and you see, none believe of what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by my brother.
High-minded.
Boy, you talking about high-minded. Boy, I'm telling you, there ain't chronic on this planet could get you that high-minded. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
Now therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law one with another.
Yeah.
Why do ye not rather take wrong? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brother.
And you see, you do wrong and that you defraud your brother. See, when you can't take wrong, that means you don't want to hear nothing he got to say. Man, miss me with all that, man. Man, I'm just trying to say, bro. Oh, like you ain't never did it before, and then that's what comes up. You ain't never did. Well, I don't do it no more, bro. I'm just trying to tell you what it did to me. Well, you had your way. I'm different. It's like being a chemical entrepreneur, a dope dealer. You know it ain't nobody ever retired. I mean, like I said, I've been watching that BMF series, and here he actually thinks this is from God. A soothsayer told me big things are destined for me. The penitentiary.
Yeah, it's big.
That's what's destined for you. Either that or you gonna die violently in the street, or one of these strip clubs when you popping bottles is gonna give you the nasty woman disease. And that's gonna kill you. Saying this destined from God, but the other brother T, who always say, you know, boy, come on, man. You know God ain't got no part in what we doing with this. You know, you ought to quit talking that, man. God ain't got nothing to do with this evil we doing. And it's a reason he got pardoned. Now, he got pardoned. All of his stuff is gone. Now, Meach got parole. Yeah, he got parole. But Demetrius T don't even have a record that somebody can pull up on. He's been pardoned. But he was the one with the mindset, we ain't gonna fool ourselves with this nonsense. You know what we doing? We killing, we selling dope, and my mama trying to be a preacher. All of this is out of control. But me say it's destined. this is my destiny to be the biggest dope dealer on the planet. I think God is backing me on this.
We're going to back you into a corner.
Boy, look here. We finished that. Did we finish that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I was talking about is the, jump back to 1 Corinthians 5 and 9. And just read this down. Because when we keep talking about brother, it's somebody in the faith, y'all. It may not be your blood brother who may be of a different denomination, but this is brothers in the faith that we have to deal with. So just run that 9 through 13, and y'all, we're going to close on out of here.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9.
And this will cover, like a lot of people think, I've been knowing you longer than this individual. Why, don't you listen to me? Well, if you've been involved with something, and this new brother I met has told me that he was involved in that, but he quit, that's who I'm rolling with. Because I quit. You understand? But I can't roll with you and you still got an itch for it. You will go up in the store and won't tell me I'm finna jack this store. Then here you come running out with a sack of money and then the dye pack explodes. Who going to jail?
The blue people.
Let's get it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
From that
you Smurfs, get out of that. Come on, let's go. Go ahead. What does it say?
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9.
Yeah.
I wrote unto you an epistle, not to company with fornicators. Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world. Or with the covetous. Or extortion. Or with idolatry. For then must ye needs go out of the world.
Yes, sir.
But now I have written unto you not to keep company. If any man that is called a brother.
If any man that is called a what?
That is called a brother. Be a fornicator. Or covetous. Or an idolater. Or a railer. Or a drunkard. Or an extortioner. With such and one know not to eat.
You cannot hang out with him because he's talking about he your brother. You know what brothers those are? Those are in fraternities. Those are brothers because those fraternities offer our brotherhood is like School Days Spike Lee did. Remember when finally, what was his name? Who did Spike Lee play, Shorty or what? Yeah, well, the head leader ended up giving Shorty his woman. And she loved him so much, she thought that being with Shorty would make him love her even more. But those rules were, no, you just fornicated with me with my brother. And then he said, Shorty, go and get some more. Shorty was smiling. So this is what it's talking about. If this be your brother, you can't join fraternities like that. That involve swapping and different things like that that make that. How you gonna be a brother to that? That's been a brother to dragons. You cannot say we belong to this secret fraternity that says that we can do things and then, but yet we're still brothers. The things that the world don't even do. Go ahead, what else it says here? We're going to finish this off.
Verse 12. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not ye judge them that are within? But them that are without, Yahweh judge. Therefore put away from among yourselves that wicked person.
See, and that's saying a brother, if he ain't acting right, you got to get rid of him out of the congregation before he destroy everything. You can't just, oh man, he cool, man. He just a little rough around the edges. You got to straighten that out before that becomes the norm in there. And everybody was saying, well, you took your side with your cousin. This my cousin. And then now you got the whole house exploding.
You got to turn that individual over to the devil.
But the last two, y'all, the covenant, they just 2 verses, just Jeremiah 31:31 and Hebrews 8:8. We're going to close out. You can see that both the Old Testament and the New Testament is the same covenant, that marriage, he's going to remarry us, and it's going to be on Front Street. New Jerusalem, the marriage ceremony, it says a ceremony, and it's going to be, the whole world going to see it. Man, he marrying Israel again. Man, Israel done cleaned herself up, man. You lying. I saw her with a mini skirt on before they got to the wheel. Well, they ain't got it on now. They done cleaned themselves up. They covering up. The shame is gone. Go ahead. Jeremiah 31:31 and Hebrews 8:8.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31.
What it say? Hold on, everybody there? Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right, Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
So you hear any other nation talking about the covenant with the Lord, they still have to bow down to this nation first. You're not gonna make a covenant with God and you won't accept this first. This is who he married first. He's gonna marry him again. Now nations could join in as handmaids and servants, like Abraham and Sarah had Hagar as a handmaid. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Let's get some more.
Verse 32.
Yeah.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break.
What we do?
Which my covenant they break. Although I was a husband unto them, saith the Most High.
Y'all see that? He said I was a husband to them and they just break their vows like it ain't nothing. Go ahead.
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days.
When he gonna do it?
After those days, saith the Most High.
Yes, sir.
I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts. And will be their Elohim. And they shall be my people.
Yes, sir.
And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Most High. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more.
And when you get started getting to 35, you're going to see what the sun and the moon create new order. Just back to the last one, y'all, Hebrews 8 and 8. And we're going to see if that covenant says the same thing, if it ain't changed with who the people are. Because Christianity and these other man-made doctrines say that covenant was done away with, and all people are the same, and they won't identify. Hebrews 8 and 8. And let's see if it match up. Y'all keep y'all hand on Jeremiah 31:31 and flip back and forth and see if it says the same language, both Old and New Testament.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 8.
Yeah.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them.
There you go, fault again. Go ahead.
He said, behold, the days come, saith the Most High, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Yes, sir.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Most High. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Most High. I will put my laws into their mind, and write them in their heart. And I will be to them an Elohim, and they shall be to me a people.
And people were saying, well, what do you keep saying? It ain't the covenant they wrote. And when we was in Egypt, that covenant was just written on stones. It was an outward covenant. It was a letter. Same covenant, but it was just written on paper. He said, but this one, I'm going to write it up here because y'all grown up now. I'm going to take the note off the refrigerator. I don't have to keep telling y'all to do that. Sooner or later, it should click up here. And for all those that it click up here, that's who's going to be part of this new covenant, so to speak. Same laws, but just up here versus this and fringes. It's going to be up here. You ain't going to need to have that on to prove nothing. You ain't going to have to say, do you know the Lord? For anybody that's in this part, going to already know. That question ain't going to have to come up. Go ahead, read a little bit more than that. Finish it on out.
Verse
10.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Most High. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest.
Yes, sir.
For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins, and their iniquities will I remember no more. And then he said, a new covenant. He hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away.
So it's saying it's ready to vanish away, but this was possible, and it was vanished away, when the veil was rent, and what it's saying is we got to come into it because the other one is gone. We're not under the wilderness no more. We're not under no type of understanding from that perspective that everything is the letter of the law. You must do it like this. This is why they get so mixed up with that Sabbath and won't move, won't light a fire, won't turn the heat on, won't do nothing, won't change the baby diaper, because that was the law, and that wasn't the one. That was the one to whip our dying flesh into shape. This new covenant is about your mental game, your consciousness, and your soul. That was what it was from the beginning. So y'all, I hope we covered almost all of them. I think we did. What you got out there, 2 by 4, we close out?
I got one from William White that asks, let's see, William White asks, is Onias, the demon the same as succubus in the Testament of Solomon, where he can transform himself?
Well, I'm going to tell you a good movie to watch, and you'll get a good understanding of that demon. It's called a Splice. When you watch Splice, you're going to see how that demon got into changed sex. The man first got with it, and then it got with his wife and impregnated her. But it's going to show you stretched to a giant. This thing went up to 13 feet tall. It's called Splice, though. They're mixing genes, and they finally got one. And it became, it would look like it had a beautiful face, but it had a tail on it. And she walked in on it, working his work. And she said, no, you ain't. And then it turned to a male and worked her over and impregnated her. It was a succubus and an incubus.
But see, the difference was that he willingly laid with the thing. It raped her.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. You know, and this what it does, though. It took her, and now she's with child. And so far, she 9 months, cause that's what it looked like, part 2. You going AC Ben Yehuda? I'll let you later, bro. Okay. So what we're talking about is, why ain't she went to the clinic yet and got rid of that demon baby? She's rubbing on it. She's got like 2 weeks left to go. What do you think she gonna produce at this point? So yes, Ananias, these demons can transform. They'll switch up on you. And they're teaching it to men who are now what we call transvestites, that'll switch up on you. All it takes is 2 Hennessy's up in the club, and they walk up on you, and you think you done got lucky.
Well, what William White was asking was Onias, that demon you were reading about in the Testament of Solomon,
Yes.
Yes. Was that a succubus?
Well, you have to read what it says it does, Solomon or ask. See, a lot of that stuff, it'll tell you, say, what is your mission? He say, well, this is what I do. Like the one who lay in river, he say, I wait for children to get in, then I drown them. Right. I drown children. This other one say, I like to get inside, you know, and I like to wrap the umbilical cord around the baby's neck and destroy them before they come out of the womb. And he said, well, who do you fear? Well, whenever Raphael come around, I have to get going. So that's who I offend. And then the other one say, well, 644, I'm scared to death of. And say, who is 6'4"? It breaks down to Emmanuel. I'm scared of him. He has all power. He tell all of us to get going. So 644 ain't scared. Asmodeus, Solomon didn't even scare him. Solomon asked that, how you gonna look at me like you smelling dog dung? Right. Don't you know I'm Solomon, I got power? He said, player, you ain't got nothing. I don't really even know you. I tell you what though, I can peep in the future, you can't. And I already see you tripping. He said, I'm gonna come back and see you in a few years when you be caught up. Solomon, get to work. Get to work. And when Solomon fell, he was right there. He said, I told you, player. I told you what I was gonna do to you. Asmodeus is a powerful demon. And he fears Raphael. We got a Raphael back here, but it ain't him. You know, it's the archangel, Raphael. So y'all have to understand it when you read the Testament of Solomon, y'all, because it's spiritual warfare, y'all.
Got one more thing.
One more? Okay.
Uzziel, Stone Mountain asked, he said, I'm having it out with a brother who claims prostitution is legal according to Scripture, and it's not fornication. Can y'all give me something?
I can't give you nothing on that because that ain't in the Bible. Did he give you anything? Because it says you can't bring the price of a whoremonger or price of a prostitute into the temple of God.
Right.
1 Corinthians 5 tells us you cannot mix fornication and bring that into one body. You cannot do it. If she's a wayward woman, you don't know who she's been with. That's why you can't bring into the body. It ain't saying that according to the rules, if she meet the requirements as a second wife, it has to be according to the rules. It can't be just that I need just some extra work I need to get off. It has to be biblically for a reason. You cannot have children. That's the only reason. That's why Sarah did what she did with Hagar. That's why the daughters of Jehoshaphat came into the thing. It's not just no willy-nilly, I want number 2, 3, and 4. To do what? All that do is lead to an orgy. It'll lead to an orgy in the shower. And now these men are saying these things now. As long as I'm in the room with 2 women, they can have at it with each other. We done heard this a couple of times. Because I'm her Lord. So you can command her to do wickedness. You can put her on the felony list. You can put her in Romans 1:20. You can do that because you her Lord. That's what you telling us? But ain't no scripture out there to say that, bro. Go ahead.
Leviticus 19:29 says, do not prostitute thy daughter.
Don't do what?
Do not prostitute thy daughter.
Uh-huh.
To cause her to be a whore.
Oh.
Lest the land fall to whoredom.
See,
and the land become full of wickedness.
Some men was prostituting their daughters, saying she was a virgin, had fake blood on sheets and everything, and was pimping her out. Yeah, go and get with him, you know. Did you sit in that water I told you to that draw you up? Did you put enough alum in it? A-L-U-M. It'll draw you up like you 10 years old. Then we're going to get you married because they got a lot of money. They got a lot of money. And then he find out you're not. Her father then would have to bring that. See, this is what we're talking about. It had to be public. Her father would get the sheet from the marriage covenant. And he would fold it up and be brought to him just in case a man said she wasn't a virgin. He would bring that sheet and lay it out. And the color of the blood of the hymen being broken is different from a monthly. You can see the difference in one. It looks like pure blood, and the other one is dark. Y'all know what it is. Y'all done seen it laying by a dumpster when the trash just piled up and that fall out of the trash. Y'all know that blood is different. It's the only package you can hide your valuables in that a burglar won't look in there. He'll look through all your drawers and shoes. But if you have a sanitary box right there, napkin, and you put all your jewels in there, he won't go in there. Wonder why. So that's what the husband would have that sheet. I mean the father, and he would lay it out. If that man was lying and he was suffering from infantitis, and he blamed that on the woman, and that sheet proved otherwise, then they would punish him. Y'all read Numbers 5th chapter. That's the law on it. We good? Okay. Would you say one more? I hope they got some good understanding on questions and answers, even though we didn't get on no feast day coming up. But y'all, we got to remember, we got to get close to that, because the questions that come up 2 days before the day of is starting to get burdensome on us. What you mean they say it's tomorrow? They ain't got no problem with us. We locked and loaded, and it's happening today. What they say about tomorrow, go over there with them then tomorrow. That'll solve that, won't it? Is? What they saying out there, too bad? We good? Yes, sir. All praises to the Most High, y'all.
All right, with the Most High's permission, in the name of His only begotten Son, reading Psalms 101.
Yes, sir.
I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Elohim, will I sing.
Yes, sir.
I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way.
Yes, sir.
O when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me.
Yes, sir.
A forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that had a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Mine eye shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight.
Yes, sir.
I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Most High.
Hallelujah! Selah! All praises, y'all. If y'all got a shekel or two, we greatly appreciate it. Shouts out, fam.
Hey, Dan, think I can get you to drop me off the creek?
See where you at. What say you, Mom? Psalm 101.